All right, Rowie bags.
Oh, no, we back.
Got some fucking big news.
We have this coming Sunday, the 20th of December, we are doing our first ever live event, mate. Now, we had 100 tickets for sale. They sold out immediately. They were for people in the room, but you can buy a pay-per-view ticket to see our first ever live stream event. Tell them what it's going to entail.
We are going to have a show of stand-up in the first section. Me and Adam, I'm going to be comparing it. You're going to do a set. We've got 2 special guests. They're going to do a bit of little stand-up as well. Then we'll have a little break, and we are going to do our first ever live podcast record. Live stream from Hot Water Comedy Club, our spiritual home comedy club-wise. You will see the first ever live podcast.
You will. That's on Sunday the 20th of December. It's not available to anyone except people who buy the pay-per-view tickets. It's not available to literally anyone else. It never will be. This is not going on YouTube. It's not going on Patreon. Exclusively on pay-per-view this Sunday. And if you can't watch it on Sunday, it is going to be available for 7 days after. But you really want to watch it live so you can join in with the conversation and stuff. An hour of stand-up comedy, a little interval for you to go and have a wee, and then a full podcast record, a full night of entertainment, and you can get tickets right now at hotwatercomedy.co.uk.
We will pin the link to our socials at Have a Word Pod, hotwatercomedy.co.uk. See you there, Rowie
See
Bag.
you on Sunday, Dan the Nonce.
Rat.
Pussy.
Rough start.
Just going to pour me drink into it. My new mug today, sent in by fan superstar Jill Bushell. We got a mug each. Mine says, running on caffeine, sarcasm, and inappropriate thoughts.
Man says 50%.
No more cans for me.
50% namaste, 50% go fuck yourself.
Amazing. Thank you, Jilly B. Merry Christmas. Fucking love getting sent free shit. I'm all
great,
about that life.
I'm repping the colours today as well. Orange t-shirt. Going on stage tonight, and if someone's like, hey, why are you wearing an orange t-shirt? Because I fucking run a podcast, don't I? And orange is our fucking colour.
It's a bit of a reach there, isn't it?
Do you think someone's going to ask you that question?
Do you think you have put an orange t-shirt on and worked backwards from there? Because it definitely... No. Because black and orange... No, that's not. Did you just stick an orange t-shirt on?
I like I want to start wearing more vibrant colours to make me...
Oh my God, babe.
Yeah.
What's changed? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know, just, like... I started thinking, like, because I wear a lot of black on black, right? And if I was in a film, that would portray sadness. And I don't want to do that. I want to portray joy in my life.
But like you're
in whatever you put out, you get back. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone
Have you had a stroke? Who the fuck is this? I am wearing orange because I'm brand tuned in with the podcast. Also, I just want to wear more vibrant colours and a skirt and a unitard.
I'm just trying to put brightness out there to invite brightness back into my life.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just get some neon, get some luminous.
Yeah. Put Christmas lights on me caps.
Get twatted in Liverpool City Centre. What the fuck are you, lad? Fucking Christmas tree. Bang.
Yeah, I just think it's important. Because I got a message the other day about the Rob Mulholland episode. Someone messaged me on Instagram and said, just reaching out, lads, because just watched the Rob Mulholland episode and you just seem really sad. So if there's anything going on, don't feel like you can't talk to me. And I was like, I was hungover. I was in a boss mood. And the Rob Mulholland episode, I was like, that honestly sound like, we've all had our ups and downs this year, but I was actually on good form. That
wasn't a sad hangover because it hadn't been a sad booze up.
That was fucking great.
You'd had a fun night out.
Yeah, but also, I do think the colours I was wearing was affecting his perception. So today, happiness, orange joy.
I'm just wearing the fucking merch, mate. That is directly related to my happiness.
Orange joy. Sunlight.
Get some merch.
Sunlight. Sunny delight.
It just looks like slam poetry. The shittest slam poem ever.
I prefer you when you're sad. It feels more normal when you're annoyed or sad.
I would love to watch you do slam poetry,
Really?
Fucking love it.
I'd rather do a battle rap. I'd do another rap battle one day.
Never mind that. What about slam poetry?
It's different, innit?
Sounds, I feel like we know you love rap battles. Mm-hmm. You potentially get a rap battler on. I want to delve into slam poetry and the world that I know nothing about? Is it basically just a whiter version of rap battling?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Just with weird, like, staccato fucking rhythms and just odd.
Yeah.
Staccato, does that mean broken up?
Like stop-start, yeah.
Stop, start.
It doesn't even have to rhyme. It just has to be...
Roses are red, violets are blue, you're a fucking nonce. Yeah! It's 1-0. 1-0! Yeah.
I'd love to rap battle you, though. That could be the headline event. I reckon we should get a couple of rap battlers on, ask them if they'll coach us. You get one to help you. Because you're into your hip-hop as well.
Yeah.
We could do a have a word rap battle event where we've got the cards filled with actual battlers, and the headline event is me versus Dan. I reckon I'd fucking body it. You get 3 zipped.
I would be embarrassed to do that in front of rap battlers. Because I've done rap battles before and I start doing it in this voice, do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you have done one, haven't you?
I've done 2.
Oh, you have done 2.
And I do them in this voice because it feels right when you're doing a little, and I don't think I'd feel comfortable doing that in front of actual rap battlers.
Haven't you lost 2, Adam?
I've lost 2 and won 1, yeah.
You think you're going to body Dan?
I body Dan, yeah. I lost to Freddie Quinn in a tight one. And I only remember one thing that I said to him, which was, when I'm on stage, I'm at the peak of my powers. Every joke you do goes down like the Twin Towers. And I don't use that reference as a disrespect to those in heaven. It's just that every girl he's shagged has been aged 9 or 11.
Well, now I've seen your work. I'm not rap battling you. Because that was pretty good. Where do they do the rap battle stuff? Where does it happen? Like,
a lot of it happens in Manchester now, and it's still quite a bit down in London.
Yeah, but specifically what venue? Where are they? They're not taking over like the Oxford Theatre or something, are they? Like, where are they?
Do you know the Ritz in Manchester?
The Princess Theatre. What's it called?
One of the biggest events in UK history, which was headlined by Shotty Horror versus Tony D. 2 of my favourite battlers was at the Ritz in Manchester, and it was sold out.
Right.
Absolutely chocker.
It's a nightclub vibe.
Yeah, but the Ritz is where you would go and see big bands play the Ritz.
Yeah.
There was thousands of people there, and it was called Manchester versus London. So every battler was from Manchester battling someone from London.
Get a bit of north-south divide going.
And that headline battle of Shotty versus Tony is absolutely unbelievable. I could literally word for word do both of their entire 3 rounds. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you want to.
I do.
When you say when you say things like that, you're like, okay. Yeah, I'm not particularly drawn into it, mate. I like being funny. I like doing podcasting. I like doing stand-up. There's something about being a cunt to someone else.
Yeah, but it's when it's licensed. That's why I like the roast battle as well.
It just doesn't sit. I've watched a lot of the rap battles in comedy, the comedy rap battle in Edinburgh, and I just like, I get it. It's not my favourite type of comedy. No, it just doesn't.
It's not my favourite either, but it's just an extension. It's a different thing.
No, I know, but I'm just saying it's a different thing. I don't like. What do you like? You know, the Noise Next Door do the comedy lock-in.
Yeah,
where they do I always say ad-libbing. It's not ad-libbing, isn't it? Like
improv,
role play and stuff. I don't know. I find that a bit cringy to do. I know some people do it really well.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I like my lanes. Not everyone enjoys podcasting, do they? I've spoken to a couple of people about doing this, and they're like, "Oh, I just feel like you just don't know what you're going to say, and then it's on the internet forever." And I'm like, that never registers with me.
No.
I think it's fucking great.
I think it's hilarious.
And then some people love rap battling, and I'm like, yeah.
I think it's quite funny that the thing we're going to get cancelled for is already on YouTube. The thing we're getting in trouble for is already out there getting viewed right this second.
Yeah.
Would you do roast battle on Comedy Central if they asked you?
Probably not.
No? Is there no one you'd battle?
Doesn't really fit your MO, does it?
Do you think?
No, I don't think it.
I'm not a particularly strong joke writer.
I don't mean that. I mean
No, I think that.
No, but I mean he's aggressive and he's fucking towards everyone. All the stuff's aggressive and he's.
Oh, I've got an edge car.
Hey,
hang
on.
No, not since he started wearing orange. He's a different fucking. He's a new beautiful summer flower.
I called Daniel Slosshouse after me last roast battle, and he said yeah. So if roast battle comes back, which they don't, it doesn't look like it's going to, but if it came back, me and Sloss have both said to the producers we'd go, because he's 2-0 and I'm 1-0, and I was like, no offense to Maisie Adam, but it was fucking, to quote a lunacy rap battle bar, more one-sided than an amputee's dance routine.
Have you become what? Is orange t-shirts make you way more hip hoppy?
Yeah.
Sloss would be good. Sloss would be great.
Yeah. He was really good.
Who the fuck could I do? Like, it's difficult, isn't it?
I could see you doing Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis.
Yeah.
Nice one. Be like, just to let you know, you can't do any little people lines. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Where's your 6 mates, lad?
Isn't it mad the way I know 2 small people and they've both got the same surname?
Really?
You what?
Tanya Lee and Warwick.
They're the only 2 you know.
Davis family.
Do you actually know Warwick Davis? Or you just know?
No, I know of him.
Yeah. Good
And
mate.
of his work.
He's a good mate. Some of my best friends are little people.
Davis family.
I've got a
You
joke.
don't want to rap battle, roast battle a midget.
You would
do
lose.
No.
Yeah, it's such a brutal one because every time you do a midget joke, everyone will be like, lazy. You'd be like, oh, come on.
No, but if you do it in a good way, you'd absolutely murder them. I'd love to rap battle Warwick Davis.
Yeah, but do you not feel like it's a bit of a disadvantage, weirdly, to be taking on a little person? Would the crowd not be like, try not to do a little person joke?
No, I don't. I think at those type of events, they're like, just call him it, lad. Come on, we're all like.
Well, as Warwick, from a Warwick Davis point of view, would it not be a bit like, is this fair?
Look at you normal
Walking
size.
in with a massive target on his small frame.
Yeah, but like, when I battled Deliso,
You could be like, I've got the eye, so...
Fucking
if
hell, when he
anything,
battled
we're
Deliso.
both-
He sent me the Deliso stuff before he did it. Like, to show me. And oh my God.
when I battled Deliso didn't mention my eye at all. And you could feel people in the room going, fucking talk about his eye, lad. And I like, me and Deliso have got the same agent. And we both spoke to our agents about our stuff. And before it, I spoke to my agent and he was like, it's going to be tight, this, you know. Deliso's got some really good stuff. And I love Deliso. I did a corporate with him yesterday, but...
He is a good joke writer.
He's brilliant.
He's a really good joke writer.
I was very, 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 very over-prepared and wrote some very, very roasty battle stuff.
Yeah.
No,
I couldn't see me doing it. Who would your dream roast battle be? Obviously...
I don't want to name here.
We all know.
Okay,
the
we all
answer
know.
is,
We've
don't we?
done that several times, but beyond that...
I'd like to do Sloss, because I think it'd be very, very close. I think he'd be the favourite, but I think I'd work so hard for it that, and if I beat him, I feel like I'd have his respect forever. I feel like I already have with mates and colleagues, but like I feel like he'd be like, ugh, like if I managed to beat him, because Sloss is one of those people who is so unbelievably over the top sound and not even in a fake way, that the fact he's so successful, 2 Netflix specials, a HBO special, world tours, done Conan more times than anyone but Conan. I think that's literally a fact as well.
It's pretty impressive from a lad from Edinburgh.
And he's a year older than me, and he's done all of that. And he started comedy when he was like 16. To be that successful, and I don't know one person who's ever said a bad word about him.
No.
It's very hard to battle that guy and win, because he's just sound, and everything you could possibly say about him, he's already said himself on stage. So it's...
And he's not African, and he's not a little person.
Exactly.
So you're going to have to work a little bit harder.
You know what's mad? The way you link being successful to being a knobhead. Never really understood it.
It's not that. It's that people...
No, I'm not saying Sloss is a knobhead, but I mean in general, when you think of someone successful, you're saying he's dead sound, and then you spoke about the success.
Yeah, you work backwards.
It's weird how they come together, isn't it?
Public perception is that, oh...
It's a British thing that we don't like people doing well.
No, but I mean, like you're saying,
we
he's
do.
successful, he's probably a knobhead.
No, I'm not saying that he...
Not Sloss. I mean, in general, when we look at somebody who's
No,
famous.
I don't think like that, but I just think like being successful, because like it's very difficult. It's the same reason that like footballers think they're above COVID rules and stuff. It's because it's very, very difficult to be successful, especially from a very, very young age, when literally women are throwing themselves at you. You've always got money. You're in rooms of thousands of people who are screaming your name and delighted to see you. That you can't really go through life without that affecting your mentality.
Yeah, that's a demigod life, isn't it? That's not a normal, healthy lifestyle.
Like footballers, when football people are like, oh, he's a bit arrogant to him, it's like 50,000 people sing a song, a parody song about him every week. Every time he does his job, 60,000 people scream like mad for 30 seconds.
Yeah, and he gets paid 100 times the national average or 200 times the national.
When I see like
pop stars as well, pop stars have got like that affects you when you're young, and pop stars are young, aren't they? It's their formative years, so they're making money quicker than they should.
Yeah.
Like there's no apprenticeship, there's no graft. You instantly succeed. If you get to the second album sort of level, then you're set up for life. And what drives a lot of young men is basically impressing women and working to that. I mean, I'm generalizing, but that's true for a lot of young men. And if you get all of that on a plate early, you're literally on a pedestal. You're getting fucking girls, you're getting like money. Of course you're going to be a little knobhead. Yeah. Like the chances are you're going to be, by 21, a bit of a dick. And then it becomes like, they're actually sound.
Yeah.
Like it becomes remarkable, like you said, Carl, it becomes remarkable when they're not a prick. Like Heather Mills said that about Paul McCartney when they divorced.
Yeah.
They were like, what was it like to be with Paul McCartney? Obviously it was quite a nasty divorce. And she was like, imagine living with someone, being with someone that has never had anyone say no to them since they were 18 years old.
Yeah.
Imagine that. And he's now, at that point, he was like mid-50s when they divorced, I think. Like, yeah, that will skew your fucking worldview, won't it? When you walk around, and like on a different level.
Yeah, and like, just to sort of tie back into what he's on about is, I'm not, like, if someone's just all right when they're at that level, it's noticeable because, like we're saying, it would go to your head. But like, we'll stop fucking blowing smoke up his ass in a minute, or I will. Like, he's noticeably sound.
Yeah,
he's not just
he is. Yeah,
like at the end of his Edinburgh shows, and it's funny that we're talking about Sloss so much when the guest today is Kai. At the end of Sloss's Edinburgh shows, he does his Edinburgh show, finishes at 55 minutes, and then goes, right, if you've enjoyed me, here's all of my mates and their shows. And he literally does like 12 people. He'll go, Lauren Patterson is at the Gilded Balloon at 7 o'clock. Mark Nelson is at the wherever at 8. Adam Rowe is here. And he does that. And he doesn't need to do that.
So a lot lower level comics do it, but he's above that level.
Yeah.
He knows that that's a massive...
It's just it's a noticeably sound thing.
John Bishop.
So yeah, I'd love to roast battle him.
Like the when you get to that level of like, you're a fucking comedy superstar and your sound, John Bishop, so sound, like a nice guy. Yeah. Like people do have this, like Adam said, in Britain we don't like people to do well. I think we do. But the higher you get, you've got your fans, otherwise you've not got there. Yeah. But as soon as you're above the parapet, the higher you go, more people can see it. We're getting it with some of the videos online. The more people view them, we're, in theory, having more people watch our stuff. But it's also getting more like, who the fuck is this? Because, we've like pissed them off for it. That works in celebrity, doesn't it? The more famous you get, the more people have a chance to go, well, I'm not into it. Yeah,
my favourite thing is when someone on the internet thinks it's like the biggest insult in the world that they haven't heard of you. Like, no, you think you're funny in that, right? But I've never heard of you. And it's like, I'm fucking gutted. Darren from fucking Coventry. I'm really gutted, mate.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a thing this week, didn't we?
Talking about those Facebook videos.
We had
you knew it was going to be Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, you knew it was coming. It wasn't going to be on Insta. It probably wasn't going to be on Twitter.
We pissed off a load of racist dars, didn't we? Not dads. Dars. Pissed off a load of fucking gammon. I don't want to stereotype, right? But all racists look the same. Like, they really fucking do.
They really do.
They're the exact same person. Well, this isn't even funny, right? And I bet they all take fucking dick off black people because they clearly love black people, and they just why aren't they taking the piss out of everyone? Why are we taking the piss out of white people? You haven't listened to this podcast? We take the piss out of every fucking cunt under this sun. Watch our back catalogue. You fucking gimps.
What did they call us? Black Lives Matters, knee-taking puppets. That was it.
Yeah.
Here's an idea for anyone with links with big tech and the EDL and BNP. Develop an app for racists so they can spell quicker on Facebook comments. It would do so well. Yes, it's a niche market, but if you could just help them channel their anger against people who aren't racists and people of ethnic minorities quicker and more efficiently using correct spelling and grammar, that would be tremendous, because
it would help us out a lot, wouldn't it?
This is how bad it got. Because our fans started taking the piss out of them. This is how brutal it started getting. it started getting to the point where I started feeling bad for some of the racists. because when someone can't spell or write a message properly, and like spelling mistakes that you're like, if you don't check back, and we've all done it, we've all mistweeted and everything, and it's annoying on Twitter because you can't delete it. You've got to kind of ride or die. But you're like, oh my God, if you write that there, the whole thing doesn't make sense, and you look like a massive spanner. And there was one of them, and he's really keeping on going for it. And he's an horrible piece of shit, you can tell. And then everyone's like, mate, do you want to check the spelling? And you can tell, like, he's going, I'm not going to check the fucking spelling. and he's getting more annoyed. And then he's still getting typos. I'm like, oh my God. I actually felt bad for him, because if you cannot construct a sentence if you just are that bad at it, I was like, is he special? He might be special. Is it a racist special? I don't know. Oh, fucking brilliant.
If you don't know quite what we're talking about here, we put a clip out from one of, was it from a Patreon?
Yeah.
So from one of our Patreon episodes, I talked about the time in a queue after one of my tour shows, a guy come up and complained that he's not allowed to say the N-word, but black rappers are. And I just told that story. I won't recount it now, because if you want to check it out, go to the Have a Word Facebook page. It's just Have a Word, and find that clip. And the comments they're a joy to behold, because initially we got a load of comments from our usual fans going, this is really funny, or tagging their mates, or watch this. And then we got a wave of racists and gammons going, well, why can't I say it? Why aren't I like, why does the colour of your skin mean whether you can say a word or not? And it's like, well, you're ignoring the historical context of the word, you fucking pieces of shit.
One guy got so tangled up with it, because someone was like debating him on it, and you're like, I don't ever comment on that. It could get so personal. I'd be like, I'm not getting involved in this. There's literally no point. It's good sport watching it. But someone was genuinely debating him on it. And by the end, he was just sort of ignoring the whole clip. Like, the argument he was making was the thing we'd taken the piss out of. Like, that we were taking the piss out of a guy who was trying to justify using the N-word.
Yeah.
There's no justification. You fucking moron. And it's like, and I love when people start really. This is what I enjoyed about it. Our fans know how to take the piss, but never go to their level.
Yeah.
Never once did any one of our lot, any one of the Lid Army, get nasty, get abusive. One person took a picture of one of his... It was the one where he was like, oh, fucking hell, look at you, Mr. Muscle. Did you get ready for the advert? It was really gentle, playful piss take, and that's not the world they live in. They live in the aggro pub banter, like, fuck off. Oh, yeah, you're a big man, aren't you? Why not? I come to where you live and fucking sort this out. You're like, no, that's not what we're doing, dickface. We are
really
gently ribbing you for being a moron.
But what they also don't realise, which, you know, like, we're not going to hide behind this. On this podcast, we want as many people to see it and enjoy it as possible. And the way we get people to find the full episodes of this podcast is we put clips out on social media. And it just so happens that Facebook's algorithm gets your video more views when there's fucking murder happening in the comments. That's what Facebook likes. Now, I'm not saying I agree with that policy. If anything, I think that makes the world a more divided place, because aggro is... But they don't say aggro. They go, no, we want stuff that's going to provoke debate. It's if there's murder in the comments, it goes up. So that clip is now... We've had a couple of clips on my Facebook page, which has done quite well. But on the Have a Word page, that is our most viewed clip by such a considerable distance. So all these racists who are like, actually, no, these are fucking shit and I hate them and fuck this podcast, you've actually given our podcast more publicity than any other clip we've ever had. So if you want to help us out, go into those comments and very likely take the piss, keep provoking them, because they'll keep coming back. They'll tag their other racist mates and we'll get millions and millions of views, and half of them will be from racists and half of them will be from people who think racists are dickheads, and that's exactly what we want.
And when we'll end it, we'll end the fight when we find a racist that can spell. And that might be for a long time. They
called it the 100 Years War.
I'm still hating. You fucking remtards. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Calling a clip racist at the meet and greet was a touch. I was like, am I going to call this clip that? I absolutely am. I love it if they go into it. Oh, it's quite interesting. Fucking yeah, that's what I am. I love a meet and greet and I am racist. What I really felt bad taking the piss out of, because in the video we were like, well, you can't say the N word in a queue. Very few queue. I mean, maybe Runcorn Wilco's.
Yeah.
And then I was there before, and I felt bad. And literally, I was walking around Runcorn Wilco's going, maybe they know. Oh, thanks, Dan. Just trying to sell fucking sellotape here. And pick and mix.
And now we've got the BNP turning up.
We haven't said that word in here for ages. A good 5 or 6 years that word's been banned in here. Welcome to Wilco's.
I gigged in Runcorn last night. I tell you what, mate. You haven't done a gig back yet, have you? Or have you?
What?
Have you done a gig back since lockdown?
No. I was meant to, and I was really ill the other night. It's just I had a gig, and I was really not very well.
All right.
Just washed over me very. No, it was bad.
2-hour illness, was it?
No, but maybe a little longer.
3.5.
Oh.
Just at the time.
Just from the point I had to confirm the gig until the stage time.
Yeah.
Oh, it was rough.
Yeah. Just to get yourself replaced.
I could just about lift my hand to type, I don't feel very well. Can you call Freddie Quinn? Thank you. And they were so understanding. So no, I've not gigged. Thank God I got over that illness.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you had to self-isolate.
I might. Honestly, that's one of the worries with COVID-19 and this year and the success of the podcast. I think those, 2 to 3 hour viruses might be a bit of a problem for me going forward. And they really hit hard on
Just spring up, don't
Wednesday night for gigs under 120 quid. I got my chest. Symptoms! Dan keeps getting symptoms when he checks his emails. Are you still on for tonight?
This is a public episode.
It is. I'm looking forward to gigging there again.
I'm back, mate.
You are proper back.
Did loads last week in the hot water, and this week, so yesterday, during the first lockdown, I refused Zoom gigs.
Yeah.
And then I did that one for the Comedy Store, but it was just the new act night fucking around, taking the piss.
Yeah.
Well, I did my first Zoom gig yesterday, because it was corporate.
It's very hard to turn down any gig when they get past a certain figure.
Yeah.
That would have affected me. If we'd have added a 0, my chest is clearing. I will see you at 8.
Have some Benadryl backstage, please. Did a Zoom gig, and was the easiest money I've ever made, because they were like, you're hosting, and we've got Andrew Ryan, Delisa Chaponder, and Hal Cruttenden. That's the lineup. It has to be finished within an hour. Every act's doing 15 minutes. So if you could just do 6 minutes at the top, and we just want you to make the Zoom audience, because we had the front row, so there was 20 people I could see, and there was 140 watching in total.
It's a corporate thing, this, was it?
Yeah. It was a finance company from London.
Shout out finance companies in London.
So I just had a little chat with them.
They've always gone to Adam. I mean, that's where he got his first gigs.
Well, I was going to be an accountant.
A lot of people, I don't know if you've listened to all of the podcasts, but that's where Adam started on the finance in London circuit. Did his first gigs for 900 quid. Just starting out, lad.
Yes. So they went, just do 6 minutes of just chatting, just make them feel comfortable. And I went, okay. So I literally went,
I know how much you got paid for this. It's so stupid. Oh, God.
I was like, who's the boss? I was like, you're all right, lad, yeah? I was like, yeah. So usually you'd have to pay for a full night out, but are they going to invoice you for the cans they've bought for the house? And because it was their Christmas party, and he was like, they can do, lad, they put it on the expenses. And I was like, oh, yeah, good. So we've got 2 girls here. You're both from Scotland, I believe. They were like, yeah. I was like, is it just policy at this company you only hire people who sound like Lorraine Kelly if they're women? And he was like, yeah, got a little laugh. And I went, anyway, Andrew Ryan's your first act.
You fucking paid the rent with a shit Lorraine Kelly joke.
Yeah, literally. Right? And then literally, amazing. So all 3 acts were meant...
Did you gentle it up a little bit? Did you feel yourself just reining it in a little bit? Because that seems quite...
Well, they told us not
nice
to swear, but then as I was talking to the front row, they were swearing.
Yeah.
They went, you might not want to swear just in case any kids involved. And then they logged in and I was like, you all right, lad? I was like, fucking sick. This mate, I'm in my house having a drink. And I was like, oh, so I can swear? And they were like, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's like the corporate booker is always a bit more nervous than the actual client about swearing.
Yeah, because she has to go through Janet at HR and she's like, well, I'm just worried about my bosses. Bosses don't care. They've had a vino.
So yeah, they went, do 6 minutes at the top and then every act's doing 15. The show has to last an hour. So it can't go over that. It has to be done by 7:30. So what we want you to do is just judge it. So if Andrew Ryan overruns a bit, then just cut a bit more out of your time. Like, we'd like you to do 15 in total, but, you know, it's the acts who are doing their sets. And every single one of them overran. So I did 6 minutes, 30 seconds, and 30 seconds of... That was Andrew Ryan. He was good, wasn't he? Hey, well, your next act is Deliso Chiponda. Are you ready for the Deliso? Come on. I need you guys to make all the noise. Blah, blah, blah. Make some noise. And then the same for Hal Cruttenden. And I was done by 7:30. And then I went out and did 3 real life gigs as well. Early show at Hot Water. Christ. Drove to Runcorn. Did me own Runcorn gig. When I got to Runcorn, it was overrunning. The police had turned up in the first break. And it made the break like 40 minutes.
Oh, why?
Because some customer had said, oh, it's not COVID. And it was COVID compliant. The police turned up and went, yes, and got off.
Oh, yeah, good on you, the police.
Yeah.
It's a customer who bought a ticket.
It must have been a customer. Because what they said is, we've had a complaint from someone who's seen the room and said it's not COVID compliant. So it must have been.
For fuck's sake. I hope that's them talking shit. I hope they were just clocked it on the internet. Because what type of bellwith buys a ticket, gets in the room, and then goes, no, Brian, I'm making the call.
Annoying. But that meant that the first break was like 45 minutes, and it's only meant to be like 15 to 20. So when I got there, the middle act should have been off stage 5 minutes ago, but they still hadn't gone on. And I had to get back to headline the Late Show Hot Water. So I just pulled the promoter over. I was like, lad, I'm really sorry. We're going to have to fuck the second break off. Just do table service while I'm on. So Phil Chapman, it was meant to do 15 minutes. I went, Phil, do us a favour, lad. There's another gig. It's all got to work. So I said, just do 10 and I'll do me 20 at the end. So Phil did 10. Danny McLaughlin went back onto comp and went, guys, we're fucking the second break off. They've done pre-orders for drinks because of COVID. They're going to bring you drinks out, but Adam Rowe's going to headline the show. And they just came out like sort of American comedy club style. Put the drinks on the table. And I just sort of commentated on it while I did my set. Did that. Back to Hot Water. Headline the Late Show. Did 3 gigs yesterday, including a corporate. And I was still home by 11:30. It was... Oh, like...
They're going to start calling this cunt Rowie Bags. That's coming.
Hey, they call me Rowie Bags. And there's a reason for it.
They do call me Rowie Bags. And that's just because they've seen my fucking bank account.
We've got 3 gigs tonight at Hot Water,
All
4
right.
tomorrow.
All right. I think you're hogging the gigs, mate.
Yeah.
I think you're hogging the gigs.
And do you know what?
I'm
not
you're one
even
of
grateful
3.
for them.
You're
I'm
one
waiting
of
for
3
Sunday.
comedians who's working in the whole country. Yeah, have you done a gig yet? No, I've not done a gig yet. How many Adam's done? He's done 26 this week.
But Sunday, so obviously we've mentioned this a couple of times on the podcast. Me and Carl run a gig when we're allowed called Secret Sundays. Never list the tickets publicly, never list who's on the bill at all to anyone. And we're doing that gig on Sunday. And I've just got quite a few friends coming down who've like either bought tickets or like I've given them a couple. And I've got, I've booked the bill myself. Carl's running the show. And although I'm so grateful for all these gigs, I'm really happy to be back. It's all about that Sunday because that gig, you've done it for me a couple of times. It's got like a little house party vibe to it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Sunday. And I've already
Long live Secret Sundays, eh?
I've already told you that I'm not coming in on Monday and we're doing Tuesday because I'm going to be hungover.
Yeah, good prep. Yeah. Good prep. A hungover Adam once in a while on the pod is quite funny.
But
when people are messaging going, mate, lad, are you sad? I've got a number for a therapist and... yeah, are you into goth music, by the way? Are you a fucking emo, lad? Oh. Well, if that's not a natural fucking break, what is?
A sigh.
Yeah. All right there, lids. I want to tell you about our sponsor, Supreme CBD. If you've not yet used Supreme CBD or any CBD products, try them now. They can actually improve your quality of life. If you've got any problems with sleep, anxiety, any skin issues, I've got it. I use it. It's really good for your skin. It comes in gummy bear form. You've got sprays. You've got tablets. It's incredible for improving your general health and happiness. Try it out at supremecbd.com. and use our code WORD, WORD, to save 30% off all orders with code word WORD. Nice one. Are we back, baby?
Ladies and gentlemen, Summit.
You can see you've been practicing that rap battling and a bit of drum and bass MCing.
Don DeMarco, bang, bang.
I must admit I was a clown
Listen to this.
to be messing around, but that doesn't mean that you have to leave town. Come back, easy man. This is Pato Bantan. Just wanted to let you know you're listening to Have a Word with Adam and Dave. #1 podcast
That's
out there.
Pato Banton.
Easy man. Bye bye
If you
bye
don't know
bye.
Pato
Bye,
Banton,
bye, bye, bye. Oh, I love it.
like if you don't know who Pato Banton is,
You're young.
No, but they'll know that song anyway.
Yeah, it's a banger.
Come back.
And give me one more
Baby,
try,
come
because a love
back.
like this will. I love. Hey, thank you, Dean Moore. You absolute fucking legend. I don't know how you got Pato Banton to do a voice recorded message as an ident for the podcast. I don't know why you did it, but it's massively fucking appreciated. The presents from Jilly B have been fucking amazing, but there is something about getting an ident when you've not even. I woke up to it. This is how random it is. He messaged it to Barry Dodds. So I woke up.
Oh,
What?
I've just realised. So Dean messaged me, and he's got a new name on Facebook now. His name, I won't say it, but it's not Dean Moore.
Right.
Because he's obviously changed it so that people can't find him for whatever reason.
Okay.
He messaged me at 1:30 this morning with a 22-second play button, right, which is an audio recording. Bit late and random, but this is for the podcast from Pato Banton. It's not a virus. Now, because he said it's not a virus, I ignored it. I was like, that's exactly what someone sending a virus would say.
That's exactly what Pato Banton, who is known for spreading viruses around for.
But I was half asleep and I was like, nah, I'm not fucking pressing
I
that.
love it how you've just forgotten that.
Yeah.
Where the fuck has this come from? There's a Pato Banton message. So I don't know if he's paid for it, but oh my God. Then, because you didn't answer, he's gone, well, I think Dean Moore listens to the Parapod or did before this, so knows Barry personally, so sent him the message. So I woke up from a message from Barry Dodds with a voice recording from Pato Banton, the 90s UK reggae star. There has been some mental moments with this podcast. Last night, last bit of admin I did before I turned my phone off and just didn't do any more after looking at racists going, no, you can go fuck on yourself, was just replied to an email from a bin man in New Zealand who was like, mate, love the podcast. I listened to it on my rounds. I turned to Laura, I was like, I've just spoken to a bin man in New Zealand. And then I woke up to Pato Banton going, bye, 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 bye. And well done, Dean, for getting him to call me Dave as well. Pato Banton has given me a shout out without actually using my name. You can tell who's now an OG.
Yeah.
With the name stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we used to hammer it when it was just
Adam and Dave.
Me and Adam, pre-COVID, that was the bit, wasn't it? Because someone, who was it? Was it Ronnie that miswrote my name and then it became a bit? And now that seems like fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I love the fact that to this day, almost every time we get an email, no one uses any of our real names. It's another name beginning with A, another name beginning with D, another name beginning with C. And we even had Fernando for our Finn as well.
Oh, yeah. The Finn turn's getting a bit of banter.
The Finn turn.
Oh, he's editing
love
it.
that, don't you?
He's editing it at the moment.
Yeah, he's in the edit.
That was pretty. The Finn turn's pretty funny. That's pretty good.
How about you have that one?
It wasn't me. I didn't come up with it.
Yeah.
Someone's. He's editing right now. We can talk about it.
Work,
He has no idea.
What?
What? What? Nothing, mate. You're
You're
right.
just slagging you off.
You okay? Not today. Get back to work, lad. It's all friendly, Finn. Jesus. Finn's not in the mood.
I'm gonna hear this tomorrow, aren't I?
You are. We love your work.
We do. Very grateful.
Back to it.
Back to work.
Good lad. He's good though, isn't he? We like him. Yeah. Have you got any correspondence, Carlos?
I have. I have a question here.
Correspondence?
Hey, Lids. Just curious about what you think
Adam, literally, I love it, right, when people send us emails, nearly every email, they get more creative, apart from this guy. All right, Lids.
Just curious.
What are you eating? What were you just munching on then, Carl?
It's a soother and it's a bit rattly on my teeth.
It's a soother. I think he's coming down. Have you got a gig coming up? Is it less than 150?
I played footy on Monday and it was fucking freezing and it got on my chest and I'm a bit cold this week.
Oh, God, babe.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly, I think I had the same thing just before.
Yeah. Did you play footy that night? Yeah, is that what it was?
Oh, I think it might have been. Yeah.
Right.
I've got to go for blood tests.
All right. What? Really?
It's not fucking... What's the game?
I've had tendonitis in my arms.
Yeah, but that's Adam, innit?
The Place is Right.
But that's Adam, innit?
Not even the Place is Right.
I'm talking... if I'm talking about illness and then you're talking about Adam's like, yeah, but I've been ill.
I broke my leg.
Yeah, I've been ill. What, have you lost 2 parents? I've lost 3. Sure.
What is it that Bruce Forsyth on, higher or lower? What was that?
Play your cards right.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Good 30 seconds that was. That's why we're winning awards.
Hey lads, just curious about what you think about whether somebody's work should suffer because of what the creator did. Example, Michael Jackson's music suffering because of what he did, or J.K. Rowling's books suffering because of what she's become. Should they be boycotted, or should you be able to separate the art from the artist? And do you know anybody like this on the circuit?
Okay.
Oh, I feel a little bit of juice coming on, ladies and gentlemen.
So let's start by saying I've done stand-up on this very topic and literally used Michael Jackson as an example. And I had to stop doing the routine because Dave Chappelle on Sticks and Stones, one of my favourite stand-up specials, he did a very similar Michael Jackson bit to me. And it's sort of ruined.
Dave Chappelle is a joke thief.
Yes.
That's what we're saying.
Oh, yeah. Dave Chappelle came to see me at the Caves in Edinburgh and robbed me joke. So the routine I did, a paraphrase version of it.
Can you imagine that? If on Secret Sundays, Chappelle was in the corner with a fucking notebook and all the lids were like, hey, rat! Chappelle, you fucking rat!
The bit I did was essentially that comedians are held to a higher standard than any other form of entertainer. Now, that's a bit of flawed logic. It's not necessarily true, but it works as a stand-up idea because when Louis C.K. got in trouble for being a creepy little sex pest, he immediately went from being arguably the greatest comedian of all time. Not for me. Like, I think he's very, very good. But there was a lot of people who had him in the conversation as the GOAT. And he went from that with the same people to not funny. He went to not funny because it was like, well, he's talking about being creepy on stage and that's actually really what he's like. And it's become not a joke anymore. And I think it's quite funny that he went from not funny. It went from absolutely hilarious, one of the best ever, to not funny for wanking in front of women that he had asked, can I wank in front of you? I think he's a creep. I think what he did was weird. And I think the way he followed up by like trying to pressure them into never telling anyone about it was absolutely reprehensible and abhorrent. And we've talked about this before on the podcast, and it's not okay. I'm not justifying it at all. But it's
however,
yeah. But the fact that he can go from absolute GOAT to not funny for having a wank, whereas Michael Jackson probably bummed children.
He did, didn't he?
And like, no one's bothered if a Michael Jackson song comes on at a party, are they? Yeah. You're still getting up for Billie Jean.
Billie Jean's a banger.
So my routine was basically like, you know what I mean? Like, he did fuck kids, but this is a fucking tune, this, mate, so let's let it slide.
Well, I made the mistake of mentioning it in my school in Japan, because I've mentioned Japan again, but they're so cut off from the Western world that they don't know or care about anything like that.
They just loved his music.
Yeah, and when art's big in Japan, like music, it's massive from the Western world because there's not much gets over there. So Michael Jackson over there is huge. Mm-hmm. And he came on in school once. And I'm sitting in the lobby with about 6 students and a couple of teachers.
You just shouted nonce.
I didn't go that far. I went, oh, that's weird, isn't it? Listening to this coming on. And they all looked at me and went, why do you not like Michael Jackson? I was like, no, I don't not like his music, but you don't really hear this anymore. And they went, why? And
okay, buckle up, everyone. There's a load of 5-year-olds like, Sensei Carl. What are you talking about?
And I just went, well, it's a bit of legal trouble in the last couple of years, wasn't it?
Oh, fucking dodged a bullet.
Like, oh, what happened? I was like, I don't know. You best Google it. I'm not not really up on it. I was like, I'm not going to tell him that he shags kids so we don't listen to his music no more.
I really loved doing my routine about that because I put it right at the start of my show because it was the most offensive thing I said in a whole show, which had quite a lot of potentially offensive routines in it. And I put it there specifically so you couldn't get offended by anything else. My angle, which was far too similar to Chappelle's. Chappelle's was essentially, it's Michael Jackson. He can do whatever he wants. And my angle, and obviously Chappelle was joking, by the way, before anyone takes that seriously. My angle was, there are worse paedophiles to have been fucked by. Like, at least
What did you say? You got fucked by the goat?
Yeah. You got to fly around the world. You got to play with his monkey. It's better than in some fucking cunt who works in Greg's, innit?
Dave Johns used to have a bit that was about the back catalogue. You judge the paedophile by the quality of work. I used to love it. He's like Gary Glitter. Do you want to be in my gang? No, I fucking don't, Gary. which is spot on as well. I think it's a difficult one, and this is really blowing smoke up our own arse, because I think after everything that's happened on Facebook this week and the fact that we do take the piss out of a lot of stuff, probably beyond the line for a lot of people, like modern sensibility. Like if you're going off sort of London, LA, New York, the sort of Twitterati who are like, well, this is not woke and this is unacceptable and these are the pronouns and you can't say that. We're probably way past that line. But I think for most normal people, there is a middle ground on it. I think there is an argument to say once you've committed these crimes, it's very difficult to be like, yeah, but it's a good song, innit?
Yeah.
The Lost Prophets.
Yeah.
But that's...
Mate.
I know.
It's not.
I know you
It's
can't
the
separate
same.
them. I know.
Shit.
Yeah.
I fucking love that Lost.
The fact that it's really interesting, actually. The fact that you went, but you can sit there and we can talk about Michael Jackson openly. That's exactly the point we're making now.
If you don't know the story with the Lost Prophet,
it does, doesn't it?
But it isn't.
Yeah. Well, I know. It's weird, isn't it?
No, I don't mind an American nonce. I don't mind an American nonce.
Yeah.
But I don't want British nonces.
Yeah.
Keep them out of our playgrounds. Do you see what I mean? Like, I have that song, because we done when we're going nowhere. And it's a fucking banger. I've got it on a CD that one of my mates made me years ago, and I've randomly had it in my... Like, you know, I had a wallet for my car CDs. This is going back like 12, 13 years. And it's...
I thought you were going to say months.
12, 13 months. This is going back to March.
It's going back to lockdown 1.
And I stick the CD on sometimes. I've still got a CD player in the car. And it comes on and you're like, oh no.
Just skip it.
Because, no,
Still a banger.
But it's still but in your head you're like, because we're God, this guy... really did try and fucking, oh my God. Like,
Rock and Roll Part 2 by Gary Glitter is an absolute stonker as well.
The most heinous thing you can do to
me, for some reason, I did the boycott of Michael Jackson, when everyone did it after leaving Neverland, is it?
Yeah.
I was like, do you know what? If it comes on, I'm not going to turn it off. I won't actively go to his thing and listen to it anymore, but...
I'm not going to download it, right? I'm not going to buy it. But if I'm in fucking Asda and it comes on, I'll fucking moonwalk down the meantime.
It's still a banger, isn't it? It's still a banger, though, isn't it? And he wasn't...
Yeah? And he was a banger.
He wasn't having sex with kids in the video.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, my goodness me.
Not in the radio edit, anyway.
Good point, Carl. Good point. He never recorded himself. Paedophilia is one thing, but don't do it on camera.
Do you know what? I made some people feel really uncomfortable with that routine as well, on purpose. So what I would do is I would say to someone in the room, I would ask the room, who thinks he did it? Who thinks he didn't do it? So I was like, right, if you think he did it, do you still listen to his music? And someone would go, yeah, I do. Not asked. It's amazing. It's really good stuff. And I was like, what if he'd fucked your niece? What if your niece was one of them, or a family friend's kid, or your kid? Would that change it? And then they were like, yeah, it would. And I was like, so what you're saying is musicians can fuck children as long as you personally don't know them.
Well, yeah,
that's a weird line to
it's
draw.
It's closer to home, isn't it? And you do feel more affected by it in a weird way.
But that's the bullshit person that we take the piss out of all the time. Like, I love comedy. I love comedy. But my dad had a stroke. And I hate comedy about strokes. So that's a bad comedy. I mean, I love all of the comedy. Like, that's bullshit. Yeah. Like, it's a bullshit.
No, it's
like
hard, though, when it's fucking bangers.
I like comedy that doesn't affect me in any way. I think that's fucking. What about comedy about Warwick Davis? He's a little person.
What about actors though?
What about if you know a little person? Well, then that's not funny. It's not funny because I know someone.
What about Kevin Spacey?
Sorry, one sec. Do you know what's really funny? Right. So I nearly mentioned this before, but I forgot to. I just want to tell you something I said on stage last week. So I've got a joke about midgets at the minute, and one of the bits in it is that. If you're offended by this, thinking my midget friends would be really upset, shut up, because you don't know any midgets. The only people who know midgets are other midgets and people rich enough to buy midgets. It's a funny line, right? Right. And a girl at the back went, actually, I know a family of midgets, right?
Is midget the word?
No,
but she was like, I said, do they like being called that? And she went, they're not arsed. They've got a great sense of humour. And I went, oh, so they're all sound? She went, yeah. And I went, how many of them is there? And she said 5. And I went, you only need 2 more for it. And I didn't even get to finish the word panto. And the audience just went with it with laughter. It was really a really nice moment of someone going, actually, and I thought it was going to be Aggie. And she's like, no, it's sound. There's 5 of them. You only need 2 more for the panto.
I know a family of midgets.
Yeah, what about
actors? A strange thing for people to say.
What about actors? Can you watch Kevin Spacey stuff anymore, or any other actors who've been in?
I remember when Kevin Spacey got outed and someone tweeted a picture of a snapped Usual Suspects disc and said, fuck him. And I was like, he's already been paid.
You've
for
already
that copy.
paid him, yeah.
All you've done there is deprive yourself of one of the greatest films ever made.
Well, that becomes a problem, doesn't it? Because like, there are some classic films, and I like some of the older stuff. And do you have to do like an inventory of all the crimes? And so what about cultural things that are out of order? Like racism, we're talking about the racist guy in the meet and greet, and obviously we're applying modern rules on what's allowed and what's not allowed. Not that the N-word's ever been like, it's fine, come and teach the primary school class. But like, if you go back, this when Maradona died, there was one female footballer refused to pay his respects because he was accused of rape. She sat down it was a women's football team, and they were all doing a moment's silence, and she sat down and went, nah, fuck him. You got accused of rape, I'm not doing it. And so how far do you track back? When you're watching films from the 60s, these guys were like, there's so many instances
Sean
of like...
Connery battered women, didn't he?
John Wayne. John Wayne had all of these accusations against him. So what do? Do you just shut up shop? And I'm not saying you do or you don't. It's just an interesting argument.
You've got to draw your own line, haven't you? It's like one of the things like I said sort of privately when Louis C.K. got outed was like, comedians, a lot of them are fucked up. They're fucked up. And look, I'm not in any way defending what any of these horrible people have done. I'm really, really not. But they're going to do occasionally creepy or bad things, and they're gonna panic and be like, how do I stop this getting out?
The thing with Louis was there wasn't criminal charges, and that's why there was a bit more debate with it. Yeah, because it came on the back of Harvey Weinstein, who had used his power to rape women. Yeah. And Louis C.K., the news broke at the same time. It was when the Metoo movement, the wave of that was at its highest. And rightly so, fair enough. There was a lot of collateral damage from that. The reaction over here was exactly that. It was very reactionary. And I think it was in places out of proportion. There were a lot of comics who went, is it that bad? It wasn't not that the whole industry didn't turn on him and go, he's done. There was a bulk of people.
Well, when I first heard about it, my initial reaction was, don't really think he's done anything wrong. He asked women to go back to his hotel. He wanked in front of them after he'd asked, and they'd said, yeah. I feel like, and when they said no, he didn't do it. And I was like, not really sure he's done anything wrong. And then I found out that he and apparently his agent a couple of times basically bullied these women into not telling the story. Now,
And he's a very influential, famous, powerful
Yeah.
comedian at the time. He's one of the big dogs, and he was doing this to younger, women who are trying to take their first steps in a career.
Look, we don't know all of what happened, and we never will. But my understanding of it is that he did this, which is a bit creepy, but everyone's a little bit creepy at some point, I suppose. Or, well, I'd like to think I wasn't, to be fair, but I think everyone has
Got it in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Once that orange t-shirt comes off, if he was player in black.
Taste my joy.
These are why the secret Sundays. Try and get tickets and you'll find out what the secret is. What's Chappelle doing here? Fuck off, mate. Put your pen away.
Well, it was creepy, but not that bad. But to be like, listen, if you tell anyone that I do this, I'm a very powerful comedian and I'll make sure you don't get gigs and I'll stop your career, is bullying. And I think the fact he's outed as like a sexual predator, and I don't really think he is. I think he's a dick swinging bully.
Yeah.
And they're different things.
He's a bully and a creep.
Yeah.
But we sit here as straight male comics in a industry dominated at the working roots by straight white comics.
Yeah.
And promoters are mainly straight white blokes, slightly older. And there's a lot of women in this industry who've had to deal with these fucking creeps. Some of them have been attacked, some of them haven't. But a lot of them cite instances of being basically maybe not assaulted, maybe not to the point where it's criminal, but being leched on, being having comics try it on in a forceful way, using their position, basically bullying them to do stuff they don't want to do. And it's fair for that part of our industry to go, guys, this isn't fucking all right. We're sick of it. He became the poster boy for a lot of fucking creeps in our industry, and it's very difficult to be like, nah, I don't think he did much. You're like, it's almost like people weren't listening. Like, I know you and I didn't, like, there is a point as well where you have to step back and go, not really. At the time, I was like, I feel like we need to just listen as well and watch this play out a little bit, because the people who went hard in the paint of like, this is fucking bullshit. So you're like, but are you completely ignorant of the situation? Like, no, I don't think it's wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. He's not been convicted of a crime, so fuck that. You're like, I think there's more at
nuance.
play.
It's nuance.
You've got more responsibility than that.
I'd like to think. I remember. I'm sure I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but like, we do that all the time.
Did the Robot Wars one?
The Robot Wars.
Did you ever work in Envy?
That's when it was. I was. There's an American comic, a New York guy called Louis J. Gomez, and I remember a tweet he put out in that second wave of the Metoo movement, and it was, I think that there is definitely creepy and even rapey people on the comedy circuit. There is, but I reckon there's more on Wall Street. Comedy's actually one of the safest industries. There's just creeps everywhere. And people on Wall Street don't give a fuck about being cancelled on Twitter. And I think that's... He put it in such a succinct way. I was like... Because I'd like to think our industry is quite safe. It needs to be safer. Absolutely. And girls need to be able to be like, he's a gobshite. He's just said this to me or he did this. And those creepy cunt promoters need to be like ousted completely. And another thing is Hot Water, my home club, gets quite a lot of shit from certain comics because they say they don't book enough women.
But now, you're muddying the fucking water there, aren't you? Like with that argument, like it's a separate fucking argument.
Oh, no, totally. I'm not really comparing that. What I'm saying is like, we won't go into like the politics of Hot Water and like why they get accused of that. And you know, they've got a very strict policy of if you want to play this club on a weekend, you've got to come down and do gigs for free midweek so that we can see and judge whether you're ready for the weekend. And some comics are just above that and they're like, look, I don't want to come and do an unpaid tryout. You either book me or you don't. And that's sort of where that comes from. It's their policy and they've got every right to run their club exactly how they want to run it. But with the regulars at Hot Water, I'm telling you right now, if there was ever a creepy comic on that bill with a girl on and they tried to do anything, they'd be fucking battered in the green room.
Yeah.
Like, certainly the comics I surround myself with, the lads who I hang around with in comedy, if they see any sort of creepy behaviour from a fucking rat of a comic, they'd literally get their teeth knocked out.
I hope it's better. I think it is, but I'm not in a position to be like, our industry's definitely improved. I hope it is, because I know a lot of people are working to make it better.
Yeah.
There is definitely a lot of dog shit industries that are so far behind ours, but that's not a reason to
not improve ours.
We need.
Yeah.
It's the industry's different from when I started. When
If you're like, we're the least rapey industry. It's like, but you're still rapey.
I know. Oh, listen, there has been a few rapes. Well, there's loads more rapes over there. I tell you what else is coming, and I will enjoy it when
Bad Boys Free.
that wave breaks. When some of these fucking horrors that we know and have heard about get fucking named and shamed. The guys who
the big
we
ones.
are literally in no position to name.
Like
but I can't.
There's a couple with
fucking wait.
There's a couple of big name comics with super injunctions. We're not allowed to mention any names, but there's a few that you would be very, very disappointed in. Now, it's coming, and you can answer for it. If we mention them here and now, the podcast will get sued, and every penny we've got we'd be fucked. But yeah, there's a couple, and it's well on its way. And
you will see me do a little fucking tubby man dance when those names come out.
Yeah.
I'm a massive fan of one of them as well.
Yeah, so fuck you, Sloss. Oh shit, I've said his name.
He's
a callback from before. It is not Daniel Sloss.
One of them
very
broke
good
my
man.
heart.
Yeah.
What my formative years were based on this person's stuff.
At least one of them didn't break your ass. Anyway. It's time for Have a Word. Sorry.
Do you want to do one more question?
Yeah, I've got one more.
How are we following that? How the fuck are you following that?
I don't know.
If you can, I'll be impressed.
This is from Dominic.
Is it funny?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can make it funny anyway. Dominic Clare, this is from.
You can. You wear an orange. You feel.
How do you feel about breakdancing being in the...
We're not going to be able to follow it. We've literally just called out rapey cunts, and then we're like, what do you think about breakdancing? It's not a real sport.
It's up to you.
What do we think about breakdancing in the Olympics?
What do you think? What
do you think?
I think finally we get to the juicy things. I'm sick of talking about all those accusations. That was a little bit lightweight for me. A little bit daytime television. That's not what we do here and Have a Word.
Is breakdancing going to be brand new this year?
No, so in the
2024
Olympics, breakdancing's in, but parkour isn't.
Parkour. That'll be the next one. Yeah. What sport would you add to the Olympics?
Sometimes things are just too emotive for me.
Can I answer mine now? Darts.
Darts.
100% darts. Oh my God, imagine darts in the Olympics.
Take 3 Olympics.
I'll call back to an old episode. Mine would be jet skiing. Olympic jet skiing.
How'd you win at jet skiing?
Racing.
But are all the jet skis the same?
Yeah.
And they're all going on the same water?
Yeah.
So
no, they're not all the same. But like, it's like when you play Mario Kart and one of them's got more speed but bad turning. And you have to pick.
I'd like Mario Kart in the Olympics. Fucking get the red mushroom flowing out.
Yeah.
Thumb wars.
Oh
yeah, thumb wars in the Olympics.
You ever seen the rock paper scissors championships?
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war. Is he good at these?
No, he's only got little fingers.
Fucking, you don't call me Rowie Thumbs. Why are you weirdly sweating?
For
Get
everyone
down.
listening, but having a thumb war.
Yeah.
Have you seen the rock paper
Suck
scissors?
my thumb.
Rock paper
That's
scissors
ruined my day, you
championships.
know.
You ever seen the rock paper scissors championships in Asia?
No, I'm genuinely quite pleased. I just beat him.
Like big, massive, like arenas for rock paper scissors.
Yeah. Mike, do you know, weird you should say that. About a month ago, Etta got into rock, paper, scissors. It's fucking great playing with a 3-year-old.
For everything.
She's so good because she just goes scissors. It's the most amazing thing. I can just see. She goes, rock, paper, scissors, go. So that's rock, paper, scissors. Or I don't know what, but she literally just goes, and I can see in a 3-year-old head, she's like, nothing beats scissors. It's so sharp. It's just gonna keep going. And I think it was like the second game we played, and I was like, oh, this is her form. So I just sort of play around with it. I'm like, oh, paper. Oh, you got me. She's like, yes, daddy, I got you. And then the next one, I'll go stone. She's like, oh. Scissors are sharp.
Yeah, so I could place that for everything.
Oh,
So if the remote falls off the bed,
Yeah.
rock, paper, scissors, who gets it?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Has she got form? Does she lean anyway?
She plays a lot, so she's good.
I always feel paper's vulnerable.
That's why you go for it.
Yeah.
Smart move.
Never go with it with my daughter.
The
'cause you'll
smart
get
move
hammered.
to go first is paper, because that person thinks you're going scissors and always go rock. So always go paper first.
All right.
Do you know, literally, this happens to me all the time. You know, because we started talking about rap battles at the start of this episode, right? When I start talking about rap battles, I can't get rap battles out my head. So every time someone mentions something, the amount of things that we've mentioned on this episode today, where my brain has remembered like a rap battle bar from Don't Flop, and it's just doing it now, and I need a break because I can't. My brain's just doing 100 mile an hour.
He's gone.
So breakdancing, good or bad? Let's give a quick overlook. Adam?
I don't really think you can be good at breakdancing better than someone else. I think it's so open to interpretation. It's hard to quantify it as an Olympic sport.
But gymnastics is the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You see, your initial feeling is like, well, if there's judges involved, then how is it? But that's like figure skating, the diving. Yeah.
What do you think, Dan? Good or bad?
I don't know.
It can only be good things. Have more creative things in the Olympics. It's just going to get people going out and doing shit.
Yeah, they're not letting. You say creative. No one. They're not doing like Olympic drawing, are they?
No, I don't mean that. But
It's
I mean,
all draw a sunflower.
if people go, oh my god, dancing in the Olympics, I'll go and do that rather than sit in my house.
Yeah.
More sports in the Olympics is only a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Is skateboarding, is the X Games stuff in the Olympics?
Pretty sure. I know BMX and stuff like that's in it.
But yes,
Right.
if you're going to put breakdancing in,
Right.
get skateboarding in.
Look at him. Look at him.
So if there's cycling in it, like BMXing, and there's skateboarding in it, why did you both look at me like I'm an idiot last time when I said a jet skis in it? Because it's the same thing.
What?
Listen, Adam, we went over it on the video. Jet skis have got motorized engines.
Yeah.
That's not.
What? Bikes out the person who's riding it doing the skill. Jet skis just sitting on it doing.
Jet skis don't go on there. Yeah, you need to do that. You need
Do you need to just train your hand, do you? To do that.
Yeah. I have been as well. Hey.
Check out that video on Facebook. Racists, don't mind it. Oh shit, we forgot to say something.
We did. So initially, so today's guest is the brilliant, wonderful Kai Humphries, which we recorded about a week ago. This was initially going to be a bonus episode, but unfortunately, the guest we had planned to come in today had to cancel because he got fucking coronavirus, mate. So Kai is now this week's public episode. It's just a couple of times in the bit with Kai, we did reference that it was going to be a bonus, and now it's not. So this is the explanation for that. Enjoy the Kai episode after this advert break.
Live stream tickets. Buy your live stream tickets
now! Jingle balls to the walls, fellas. Support for Have a Word, the podcast, comes from manscaped.com. Precision engineering tools for your family jewels. Now, we all know untrimmed pubes are a thing of the past. Girls don't like it. It's time to sort yourself out down there, and we can help you with that with Manscaped's Perfect Package 3.0. Now, what's in that package? First of all, you get the Lawnmower 3.0, which is a trimmer specifically for your balls. You don't want to be using the trimmer you use on your face, on your bollocks. That's nasty, innit? And with the skin-safe technology of the Lawnmower 3.0, you can shave away without worrying you're going to snag the bag. No more bleeding balls in the shower. It's perfect. Okay. On top of that, you get a bit of ball deodorant and some ball wipes. These products smell manly. These smell good. You're going to be smelling good down there. You're already putting deodorant on your armpits. Why are you not putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body? Your balls stink. Time to sort it out. Once you've shaved, once you've deodorant, you can pull on the Manscaped boxies that also come in the Perfect Package 3.0. You get all of this in one bundle, and they've just released this package just in time for the Christmas season. You can get this for yourself, for your husband, for your brother, for your kids, maybe not, but you can get it for whoever you want. And I'm telling you right now, their balls will thank you. Also, as a listener of Have a Word, you get 20% off and free worldwide shipping with our exclusive promo code WORD. That's WORD. You can go to manscaped.com now, use the promo code WORD, and get yourself some of the best male grooming products on the planet. Nice one. It's not itchy anymore, but it's getting redder.
You fucking stop doing that. Either show me a rash or stop doing that. No, don't.
Get it out.
No. We got Kai Humphries here, mate.
What's your rap?
No, he just does fucking...
Just dives in with an intro.
Yeah, it's like those fucking Brendas on Facebook who are like, oh my God, just had the tests, fingers crossed. He's just fishing.
Aye.
He's just
He got
fishing.
me. Fucking, I was concerned about his health.
Yeah, Kai's bowing in like, we need to sort it out.
I was like, I've had pretty much everything. Is there anything I can give you advice on?
Have you had pretty much everything?
Yeah. I know it. I've had scabies.
You had scabies?
That fucking sucked.
Is that herpes?
I've got herpes on my mouth, but not my cock.
Okay.
So... Scabies
More of a sucker than a fucker. Carry on.
Scabies is where lice lay eggs under your flesh and they fucking grow under your flesh and they leave you with like fucking big nests of eggs under your legs and that.
Welcome to
And
the
you've
Have a Word
had that?
podcast.
Shite.
Enjoy your breakfast.
How do you catch them from lady friends?
Well, you know, my brother was going out with this lass from the wrong side of the tracks in Blythe and he took some of my clothes.
Is there a right side of the tracks in Blythe? Ooh, but
No, I wasn't on them. He took some of my clothes, come back and I wore my clothes again. I blame it on that, I think.
So,
all right.
right.
So is it like an STI via some trousers?
Well, it's not an STI.
It's not?
No, you can catch. You could have caught it off me just having it. Like if
Scabies.
scabies, aye.
You can
And
get-
know, it was so itchy, right? And what I did is I put the shower on piping hot until it would like burn your skin off and just blasted in the area where it was, and that was the only time I had relief from it.
Oh my God. How long did it last?
Felt like ever. Felt like a while.
yeah.
How do you know?
It's hard to explain that for like, especially if you're single, isn't it? You know, one night stand, you're like, what are they? Oh, these are me eggs.
Yeah.
These are the lice living under.
Aye, I'm just a host. I'm a host for these fucking parasites that are on my body. Like,
Have you seen Alien?
do you want to share them? The problem shared. Is the
thought you
problem
said you
doubled,
liked me.
doubled in this case?
Yeah. Oh, it's brutal when you're that age, isn't it? Because you just go, oh, it's just fine. Just ignore it. Like, that's the age when you're like, nah, it'd be fine. I'll just burn it with the shower.
Burn it with a shower. It's class. Relief. Thrush. I've had that a bunch of times. Like, I think that's bad hygiene though. So.
Is it?
Plus, you can get that. You can get that as an STI, can't you? But you.
Well, I think it's like, you know, if you've had a lay and then you didn't wash your cock immediately.
Yeah.
And then
Kai, just before you do your thrush story, Carl's going to get the mic in a little bit closer.
Oh, I just need to hear this in full volume.
Carl's mid-wank and he wants to be able to finish.
Speaking of which, wanking with thrush, soothing.
It's soothing.
What?
Soothing our phone, aye.
I thought thrush was more of a lady problem.
Yeah, but a lady
You can get it on
give
your
you
tongue.
hair problem. Yeah.
I haven't had it on my tongue.
Thanks for showing us your tongue. Where? All right, yeah.
Herpes up here, not down there. Thrush down there, not up here.
Right.
Like, to keep them separate, you know. They've got
Yeah.
their own thing going on my mouth and my cock.
Wow.
Never mix me diseases.
It's like the most working class. We got a doctor in. And now we've got people with medical problems. Yeah, I've got a fucking rash.
This is my introduction to your people as well. I feel
like
a bit too hard, too fast on it.
Well, you're one of our most requested guests, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, whenever we do a little shout out on like Twitter and that, like, who do you want to see? A lot of people do try and sort of shout you out. Yeah.
And when Sloss came on, everyone was like, well, where's Kai?
Aye.
Where's Kai? Like, you're a married couple. And that is starting to fucking happen.
Is that how we
I'm ringing comedian friends. They're like, yeah. So how's it going? I'm like, good. And I know what's coming. How's the pod? And I'm like, yeah, Adam, good. I'm like, I'm not. I'm his fucking pod wife.
We've also had a couple of like promoters recently be like, just want to get you and I'm going to get Dan on as well, and you, and we'll just, like, if you could promote it via the podcast, and we're like, you're not fucking paying enough for that, 120 quid in fucking Stoke, you can fucking
Get
swivel
this on
me.
together. Remember when I tried to fast track book you because I thought you'd get a gig on I'm a Celebrity, get me out
That
of here?
was so funny.
Shameless as fuck, wasn't it?
And he didn't realise what he'd done as well. So, right, Gareth Waugh, for no reason, totally no reason, just started a rumour that I was going to be the new host of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here because Ant McPartlin got fucked off because of his thing.
If you're starting bullshit rumours, by the way, make them weirdly believable. It's so funny.
That was a good one.
Like, if it's too silly.
I was like, class.
Gareth
Quickly
Waugh.
get him on Punch Drunk before I kind of get him.
Gareth Waugh's a Scottish comic, and he's so good, isn't he? And
He's mint, Gareth.
he's like, you're big mates with him. I
Aye.
love it how he's just let that information get toward you. That's fucking great.
Just played it right, played it correctly.
So he'd started that rumour at like midnight one night. I think I was already in bed, and I woke up to 2 texts the next morning. 2. One from Daniel Sloss saying, mate, just heard about the I'm a Celeb job. Such a great thing for you. And another one from him going, hiya, mate, long time no see. I was wondering if I can get you in for me gig.
I haven't heard any particular information recently I mean, I booked you anyway. On a regular,
he booked it in. And then about 2 hours later, someone went, oh no, that was bullshit. And then he was like, fuck.
Once it's in, it's in.
Yeah, I was like, look, Kai, I know exactly what happened there, and I am very happy for that Monday night booking.
Was there a little flicker when Sloss messaged going, well, he's done TV, maybe you know something?
Oh no, I knew. What you
did you?
Was there a flicker from me being like, have I got the job?
Yeah.
No.
Because you hadn't applied for it.
No.
you hadn't auditioned for it.
Like, I can't imagine any world in which another comic would find out that I'm the host of I'm a Celebrity before I am.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a bit of a weird one.
It's not how it works. You don't get TV shows by just fucking finding out. Like there is a little bit of like foreplay with an agent and with a producer. It's not like, right, we've chosen the host of the fucking the Royal Variety.
You've got no choice.
Bang. Would you do it?
Would I host I'm a Celebrity to get me out of here?
Well, no, because it's Ant and Dec have got that wrapped up, hasn't it? Unless fucking Ant goes on a booze up again.
Yeah.
No, but they sometimes have
there's like the
host, haven't they?
Yeah, but don't they have like the I'm a Celebrity extra?
It'll pop out at Joel Dommett for a bit.
Yeah.
I would absolutely
He loves that
host
gig.
it.
Would you?
Of course I would. Like, as long as I could still do me stand-up. Like, I will do anything that facilitates more ticket sales.
How would you feel about if you had like all the ticket sales in the world, but everyone just got like put off by you swearing and that because you've got this daytime TV?
I would take the big money from that first tour and all the shit shows.
And then trim the audience.
Yeah.
Like, have your workouts.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Just take a year of just fucking people getting pissed off and leaving, and the people that stay and love it, that's your crowd. So you just like grow the bush and then trim the bush.
I had that anyway.
Even your other analogies are weirdly sexual and like fucking herpes, fucking trim the bush, cut the bush.
There. I was talking about bushes. Your head went there, mate. Didn't put your.
I had that anyway. When I got that Dave's Best Joke at the Fringe, that last week was just old people who were like, he does puns, and then I'm on stage going, fuck fat people, and you could just see them like, this is not what we paid for at all. It was really fucking like that can happen to it. Happened to Paul Sinner, didn't it?
Yeah, that's the curse of the chase. What TV would you not do?
What TV
like
would
what like mainstream TV would you
Probably
be like?
wouldn't compete in crufts.
No.
I think that would be degrading.
Are you sure? Would you host it though? I would fucking love to see
if I'm running through hoops and that and through tunnels, I'd be like, oh, all the other comics are looking at this guy and the fucking sellout. What a sellout.
I love how in Kai's head it wasn't presenting Crufts. It was actually, look, it's best of breed. The Blythe collie. Look at him. Had a wet nose.
Pedigree Blythe.
Yeah. He's got a few rashes.
All within the family all the way up until the 18th century. He's got two tongues, that's why he has to stick one of them out when he's talking about which one had thrush.
I think there is a line where you'd be like, nah. I remember my agent a few years ago, 5-6 years ago, going, CBeebies, there's an opportunity with CBeebies. I was like, what are you talking about?
Would you not do CBeebies?
What are we on about?
Why not?
I want to do this. I want to do... And you can't do CBeebies in this.
You can do it once.
It's like when Eddie Murphy's like one of the most raw... offensive comedians ever, and then he does Daddy Daycare. Like,
yeah, not at the same time. He wasn't doing Raw and then filming Daddy Daycare, was it?
But he changed gears for it.
It was when he got older. Like Beverly Hills Cop kind of era was when he was doing Raw. Yeah. You can't do fucking Have a Word and CBeebies.
I've actually stepped across the line that I would have drawn for myself once, and it was me and Tom Horton got asked to do something for Big Brother's little brother, right? And I didn't want to do it at all, right? And Tom it needed to be both of us for some reason, right? And they were like, Tom was like, nah, the Noise Next Door lads have he's just left the Noise Next Door, they've just done the Palladium or something like that, right? He was just on this thing where he needed a push. I'm ratting him out here.
Yeah.
And,
but also, if you've never seen Tom Horton, he's the son of the general.
He lives in the Tower of London. He's the son of the head of the military.
The captain of the tower.
Yeah,
and he's so like, hello, I'm one of the lads, but I don't sound like any lad you've ever known.
And he's one of my best mates.
Yeah, he's a quality guy.
Absolute total fucking different ends of the poverty spectrum.
I've been round to his house in the Tower of London. I was in London and he was like, you want to come round and I'll show you around the tower?
Nah, it's boring. See you later.
There's a picture of me in 110s, the scousest shoes in the world, and a Philadelphia Eagles t-shirt stood on the turret of the Tower of London. He's walking around, he's like, that's Hitler's toilet. I went, What?
Aye.
He went, yeah, that's the toilet they made for Hitler in case they ever captured him. No one's ever used that toilet because it was only for Hitler.
It's where they kept Queen Elizabeth and Thomas More and all that, so it's all like old stone like dungeon, and then it's just got this like Armitage tank plumbed in toilet for Hitler.
Right. And where does Tom and his family live within the town? Is there like a fucking
The Queen's house. It's called the Queen's house.
Right. So there's
I
like
I shouldn't give his address away on a podcast, but I'm sure anyone will break in. Like, I'm pretty certain anyone's gonna rock up at his house.
Yeah. And I think even if you did, I think they'd find it. Even if like the tower.
It's fucking crazy.
And can it get Sky and shit?
Yeah, you can have it. Yeah, they can. I found it dead weird because
You know how the richer you are, the smaller your television weirdly. Telly's only about that big.
What's it once a year?
he picked me up like outside Wagamama's, like because there's a Wagamama's right outside his house because it's the Tower of London.
Yeah.
And then we walked into the Tower of London, and you know, like the guards, the ones that aren't allowed to fucking blink or sneeze or anything, the ones with the hats and that. You know what I mean?
Aren't they beef eaters?
Them.
Aye.
Right. So there's one of them, and he just went, "You're right, lad," and walked past them. And then he just opened the door, and I went, "Do you leave your door open?" And he went, "Yeah. Don't really get many security breaches around here because there's a fucking armed guard over there."
So me and him got asked to dress up as flies to be flies on the wall of the Big Brother house, right?
Fuck's
And
sake.
we did it, and I'm in fucking costume dressed as a fly, and Tom's dressed as a fly, and I'm fucking hating my life, right? I'm like, this is fucking humiliating. And we're doing quips, we're pretending to watch things that happened and saying these lines that were wrote for it and all that. You know, all the good ones that were wrote get cut. They're too risky or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we're just doing the fucking B-list lines as flies, and I was like, oh, I'm devastated about this. And then something big happened in the house, like I don't know, someone was racist and got kicked out or something like that. And all the focus was on that, and my thing got cut. And I've never been happier in my life. But there's still a picture floating around to me, and Tom dressed as flies. That was me lowest moment.
There is a line in there. There's that thing where you're like, I
That's the
need the money, and
It was
there
like
might
150 quid, man. It wasn't even dollar. It was 150 quid. And the flu was
How
up.
did you say yeah to that?
Tom got us on the blower. I had said no, and Tom got us on the blower and went, "Oh, Kai, however, man, we've both got a date." So like, he
You can't put that on your TV credits, can you? Kai Humphries, as not seen on Big Brother's Little Brother as a fucking
cut
fly.
from the fly on the wall section of Big Brother's Little Brother. Not even.
Oh my god!
Fucking relief, man.
I hate TV stuff like that. Where you just you see it offered out and you're like, oh no, please don't offer it me because I'm a whore and I might do it because I like money.
Do you ever do a Talking Heads one of the like biggest things of the year?
I did one of them, and I don't mind saying
I didn't
that
like
it was absolute dog shit. And then I hope they don't watch this. They emailed me about, because it didn't come out for like 7 months, and they were like, just to let you know that this is going to air on Saturday, and it'd be really great if you could just give it a big push. And I was like, I rang my agent and I was like, I'm not going to promote that even a little bit. I'll just you get next to fuck all for it. It was like 300 quid or something.
Do they just, so if you've never seen them, they show you all the funny clips of things that happened in the news that year, and then do you genuinely, they're not pre-written, the things where you're like, oh yeah, I remember, do they show them you on the screen and then you just ad-lib the answer?
I can't remember even what my one was, but basically, yeah. So I was sat, they'd hired this bar, and I was sat in like this small room of the bar. The camera's on me, but you're talking to like the producer. So I'm looking at this guy, so where Carl is, and he's like, right, so I don't think they did show me it there and then. I think before it, they'd gone, right, you're going to be talking about this one, and this one. So I don't even remember what the episode was, but he was like, right, so what did you think about this one? And I was like, yeah, well, you know when this happens, and then he sort of looks at you and he's like, are you done? Was that the joke? Okay, cool. And then he does the next one. It's just you and this guy and his camera guy in a room.
Weirdly humorless, isn't it?
He's just like
cracking jokes.
Okay, right. And then the next one. And I was like, oh, that was so fucking awkward.
He's not allowed to say anything back. He's not allowed to be like, oh really? What about, he just has to wait and go, is it finished?
It was, yeah.
I didn't think I was a good customer for them because I went on because I clearly got wheeled in because Geordie punched a horse in the face. Remember that? So I got wheeled in about that. So I was happy to talk about me dying. I was happy to talk about the Geordie punching the horse, and then they put us onto this one where it was like Katy Perry and Robert Pattinson sitting on each other's knees singing karaoke and all that. I was like, well, I'm not talking about that. I want to know what to do with it. I'm like, I'm not going to pretend to have an opinion.
I know why I'm here. Okay.
I'm not going to pretend to have an opinion on those two doing karaoke. Like, oh, I remember when this happened. I was most disturbed. Like, fuck.
Did you just refuse to talk about anything that wasn't Geordie's punching?
I've done a couple, just that one. I was like, pass, give that one to someone else. I don't want that.
Don't want to.
Not for me.
Not for me, that one.
Are you actually a Geordie? Are you classed as Geordie?
Northumbrian. I should roll my R's when I do that to be authentic.
Yeah.
I cannot though. Northumbrian.
Because Blythe is not Newcastle, is it?
It's still Geordie. Newcastle's our club, you know. Like we've got a non-league team, Blythe Spartans, which is class.
Yeah.
But Newcastle's our city centre, you know. Like that's where we're going for a night out for shopping.
Yeah.
Like, we got the tune, so we feel like Geordies. But
and anyone from more than 40 miles away just thinks you're a Geordie.
I zoom out. I'll even say I'm from. If I'm on stage in Liverpool, I'll probably say I'm from Newcastle. Like, 9 times out of 10, unless I'm talking about my hometown. I'll just say I'm from Newcastle just because he had a Geordie accent.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But if I'm gigging in Newcastle, I'll definitely say I'm from Blythe. I could actually say I'm from Newcastle on stage and again, not quite. They'd hear the twang, I think so.
Hear a little bit of Blythe?
Yeah.
Of course, you can hear it.
Yeah.
You can hear a fucking different bin.
I can actually, in Liverpool. So I can tell you whether they're from North or South Liverpool, whether they're from the Wirral, St Helens or Ormskirk. Like you can, everywhere's got so like South Liverpool's a lot. Thomas the Tank Engine, Ringo Starr, the Beatles. You know, you know what I mean. Like I'm from Egbert Road myself. That's where I'm from. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's South Liverpool, and then the further north you get, like Rob Thomas Bootle is he's fucking like Jamie Carragher. You know what I mean? You gotta pass the ball. It's gotta be faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you get up to, I went to uni in Newcastle, and like everyone we were there with, just Middlesbrough, Sunderland, you had kids from all around the northeast, and everyone hates their local big town, don't they? That's the thing, the football rivalries. We're not them. And just if you're not from the northeast of England, you're like, everyone's a Geordie. Oh, the old Geordies. You all sound like Geordies. And when you've been there a bit, you're like, I can hear it a little bit.
You hear that like the school computer.
Yeah.
Super duper. That's
Super duper. Yeah. But Blythe's like just north.
And then it gets Ashton where it gets totally different again because that's proper pit yak. You know, the mining communities, they've like been down the mains together.
Who's from Ashington? Ross Noble's from Ashington,
Cramlington, he's
Cramlington.
from. Ashington, I didn't think there's comics from Ashington.
No.
I
like it up there, you know, like, because I've been to Blythe quite a few times because of you, basically.
Because I'm a celebrity.
Yeah, because after the I'm a celeb job, Kai got me in for fucking everything, mate. But I've spent time up there to do your gigs and when we did the boxing, and I felt like an affinity with Blythe just because that boxing night, which it'd be stupid to have you on and not talk about that night, is so burned into my memory because of how fucking unbelievable it was.
It was a fucking ruckus, wasn't it? What a day, man.
I think that was the best night of my life, and I'm not even being hyperbolous.
I'm married, mate, and I'm the same.
Yeah. It was.
I just remembered that people would be watching. No, I love you, darling.
No, honestly.
Did you fight? Did you fight? Or did
I
you?
fought against my brother.
Yeah.
I fought against
my
Gav.
God. And I've met
him
your
and
brother.
Gav took the title of fight of the night off me and Elliot Steele.
He was fucking.
We had a fucking war, me and Elliot.
Your fight was when it ramped up. There'd been a couple of fights. I think there'd been Phil Nichol and Tom Horton had been to stoppage.
Yeah.
And then did Barry Dodds and Matt Reid. And Barry Dodds, man, he was wearing a condom, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was dressed in
a full body condom. Not he didn't just come on just
wore a unit
for penetration.
wore a unitard and had a panic attack. Amazing.
Yeah.
Love that, man.
He'd sold the rights for a donation because we were all trying to raise money to the event. We've spoken about it a couple of times, but it was to save the life of a kid who had cancer. He needed to go to America and it was going to cost hundreds of thousands. And so a lot of us were like, if you sponsor me for £100, I'll wear whatever you want to go into the ring.
So
I fucking know.
Milo McCabe got sponsored to wear a Sunderland top in Blythe, right? Like a big Newcastle hotbed. Sunderland top with Shearer on the back.
I know. You know how I know that?
Because you sponsored him.
Because it was my £100.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I used my insider knowledge on the Northeast. People were asking for sponsors. I was like, I could just throw tenors at people. But then Milo was like, mate, could you do us a favour and throw us a sponsor? And I was like, what's the... And he went, mate, if you £100 and I'll wear what you want. And
Mate,
because...
I've told that story a million times, didn't that, was he?
Because I went to uni in Newcastle and you knew how much it would piss off every fucking Newcastle fan. I was like, it was the best £100. And I love it that story has got the notoriety that you've just told it back to me.
It back there?
Fucking yes, mate.
Because the crowd the crowd saw him and you could just feel this like tension, and then just because of the nature of the night, everyone just tried him like a wrestling heel, like a little booing and that. But it was like, I was like, fuck.
That's unforgivable for Newcastle fans, isn't it? Like even like it's for charity. Fucking,
I will give that one.
Didn't do that to our Shearer. Fucking brilliant. And then it built up to...
And then their fight was the first one that was a match. Yeah, the first one that was a match-up that were like, oh, we don't know which way this is going to go.
Well, I was very, very confident before he arrived.
And you both were. That's what was good about it. You both had the winning mentality.
But I didn't realise.
He has the winning mentality for fucking everything. Parking a car, he's like, I'm fucking great at parking a car. I'm the best at parking. It's the natural
It's a good attitude to
confidence.
have.
This is going to be a quality shit. Yes, get on that.
Well, when you first started putting matchups together, I wanted to fight Freddie Quinn, and Freddie Quinn wanted to fight me, but you didn't really know Freddie at the time.
Yeah.
You were like, he hasn't done me gig. I want people who've done the gig to come and do it.
I wanted the audience to already have a little bit of insight.
Yeah, and you're like, so we're not going to book Freddie for that. But Elliot Steele wants to fight you, and Elliot's a mate of mine, but I'd met him years before, and he was skinny as fuck, and I was like, I'll fucking kill him. And then when he turned up that day, he'd had a fucking growth spurt. He was fucking ripped. He looked like fucking Prince Nazim. I was like, what the fuck have I been set up for here?
Yeah, he got growth hormone and went extra gangster, didn't he?
I refuse to say that Elliot Steele was ripped. Like, I'm not giving him that. He was alright. He was svelte.
The way I remember this, though, Kai, is Amir Khan turned up to fight me. In my head, it's a true Rocky story.
Raul Romero.
Where did you clock him beforehand, like in the dressing room area?
So we all got there very early.
You wouldn't talk to each other before the fight, would you?
Well, I tried
pretend
to
be nice to each other.
I went up to him. I was like, "You're right," and he went, "I'll speak to you later," and he fucked off. He was determined to win, and I was like, "All right, I get it." And then just before the fight, he gave us a hug. He was like, "Let's go and do it." And then we're in the ring, and I'm too competitive, so I think we were 5-4. I think Carl Donnelly and Bobby May was before us as well.
That was a fun one. That was class, that.
Yeah.
Just give him your lunch money. John Robertson on the commentary, like, I think it was Bobby May had him like down and punching the back of his head, like some illegal punches. And John Robertson just went, just give him your lunch money.
It's such a cunty move to get comedians that, like, it was Mick Ferry, one of the commentators. That's how to make it fun.
He was Elliot Steele's corner man, Mick Ferry.
Right.
Because the commentary was getting pumped out around the stadium as well, the sports hall, and you could hear yourself getting roasted while you're getting punched in the face.
Oh, brilliant.
You're getting battered twice.
I couldn't hear a fucking thing, me. I was so determined to try and win that fight. And when he knocked me down, because every other fight before us, as soon as someone went down, it was over. And I just remember the referee going to me, because I stood straight back up. I was like, get out my fucking way. And the ref was like, where are you? And I went, what? And he goes, where are you? I need you to tell me where you are for me to let you carry on. I went, Newcastle, Blythe. Which one do you want? Just fucking move. And he went, okay.
This kid's ready to fight. Just give me the postcode. Jesus.
Yeah. We
And then what happened?
We went the distance, but...
Did you get a good one in?
I got an uppercut in, which I'm sure we've touched on this, but in the second round...
You went up to the next layer of the sports centre, you know, in Mortal Kombat way. You punched them through and you're in a different zone.
So he knocked me down in the first round. In the second round, he slipped. It wasn't a proper knockdown, but he slipped. But in the second round...
But you've got a good photo of you stood over him.
Oh, yeah. I'm like... I nearly took his head off. I put everything I had behind it. And then the third round, I couldn't move my arm. Like, there's a photo, we'll slide it in here, of the day after. There's loads of bruises here because I'd burst a couple of blood vessels in my right arm when I uppercut him, right? So in the third round, my arm is by my side. And we were just jabbing. Like, the third round of our fight was a bit shit because I'm just trying to jab him away. I'm just got to get through it. But he didn't go for the kill. And after the fight, I went to him, I was fucked in that last round. I couldn't move my right arm. Why didn't you come for me? And he went, you nearly knocked me out with that uppercut. And I thought for the third round that you were just preparing another one. He said, I just thought you just had it down there ready to get me again. And I didn't. So I didn't want to rush in case you did it. And I was like, I just couldn't move it at all.
Mate, that's quite a fucking injury, isn't it, that you've given yourself?
Yeah, it was like the picture from the next day, like it's just all purple in spots all the way up there.
So
Milo fought, didn't he?
Yeah, Milo fought against Dave Haddingham.
Jesus Christ, Milo looked... I mean, Milo
he probably
looks...
trained for it, though. Like, I don't think... like, if Dave Haddingham had trained as much as Milo had trained, it might have been a fair fight. But
I mean, these are like... these are all comics. A couple of these names you're like, that you're not comics you'd expect to be fighting. But Haddingham's a bit tasty, isn't he? He's a bit older.
Yeah.
From days, all right.
Aye.
Been involved in some fucking deals.
He's a scary person to be stood opposite in the ring. I'll give him that. Like,
but Milo looked... I mean, Milo always looks amazing. We did those ski gigs. Remember getting to those ski gigs? This is about 6 years ago. And the wife of the person who owned the chalet, we had a fucking great time, was sat there and had a couple of glasses of wine. We'd literally got there the first night. She's met me before, the year before. She's just met you. She's just met Milo. And was just like this at Milo, like... Mid-conversation just goes, you could be a male model. I'm like, all right, roll your flaps up, love. He always looks kind of good.
He's like catnip to aunties.
Right,
Aunties love him, you know what I mean?
So, but he really was, he was bulky and he was ripped, wasn't he? He was looking in amazing shape.
Oh, he looked like a boxer, Milo, like, that night. He looked like an actual boxer.
You know what's meant, right? Milo's just so good looking, so charming, good athlete, good at boxing, right? And he's just got everything going for him. Mint comic, fucking smashes gigs. He's got everything going for him.
I had to follow him last night. Nightmare.
To the point you fucking hate him.
Yeah.
Then we went skiing with him and you went, that's it, he's a cunt at skiing. And he's there, right? Knees together, heels out and tucked like that. Like doing the speed tuck.
Holy shit, I forgot about getting off that mountain.
He was the worst.
Kai, I've forgotten about getting off that mountain.
The one where it rained?
The one where he was taking so long that you and me were waiting for him and we were having genuine concerns about, are we going to have to ski down and get him help?
Is there wolves?
Because he's had, it was going dark. It was the end of the day. And once it's gone dark on the mountain, you're fucked. And he'd had a fall and had just gone to like a 4-year-old's like, pizza, french fries, pizza, french fries. And it was painful and he was getting more and more scared. And we got off that mountain, literally skied off onto the bar. It was like 10 to 5. It was like 4:30, 10 to 5. It was dark. We then got shit-faced just because we were still alive.
Aye.
He's a fucking bell end of a skier.
Survival mode for him.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
He got a sore thumb or something, didn't he? He did a little boo-boo on his thumb and then he just forgot how to ski.
He had like 3 meltdowns. This beautiful, athletic man going, I can't fucking do it. I just can't do it.
And, I took a time-lapse of the slope when he was coming down and you could see everyone on the time-lapse wasn't doing and Milo just at regular speed on the time-lapse.
But genuinely, me and Kai were having chats going, what are we going to do here, mate? Because we could both ski. You can snowboard, I can ski. And we were like, oh, literally, what's the plan here? And it had gone past the like, this is a fucking nightmare, to like, I'm a bit worried that we're going to die on this mountain waiting for fucking grown-up 5-year-olds.
Was that the same night that the skies opened as well? Because there was one bit where it started raining and like you didn't normally get rain up the mountain, but it just turns the snow into slush. So it was just horrendous terrain.
Oh,
I've never been skiing. I was supposed to do altitude this year for the first time, but obviously it went in the bin.
That was the biggest loss from the COVID for me, is missing altitude.
I was really looking forward to it.
You love your fucking ski gigs. Sorry, I've interrupted the Milo fight, and then I need to hear about you and your brother.
So I'll say, but you can tell a story because obviously it's your story. Like, there was so much emotion that night. There was 800 people in this tiny shithole of a town, like the one that I grew up in. It were all behind this unbelievable event.
And the momentum of because like it was a time sensitive charity. Keane needed surgery immediately, needed his operation and that immediately. It was only available in America, not on the NHS. So we needed like something like $500,000. Right, and we had to £500,000. In fact, it was more in dollars, and we had to raise the money fast enough for him to get the operation in time. And everyone in the community and in the comedy industry just got behind it in force. So, like the energy on that night was the accumulation of the momentum that had gained in the build-up of it, of all the other events and stuff that had been going on. So the buzz was there, wasn't it?
And the fan base you've got for your comedy nights in Blythe is like. It's like
I've genuinely got goosebumps now thinking about that night. It's really.
But what Hot Water have done in Liverpool and what you've done with Punch Drunk up there, it's not replicated in many places, is it? Like that, like real sense of community.
The community vibe, they're part of something.
Man, you got 300 people in a gig on a fucking Monday.
Monday night.
Remember getting there the first. I did one of the first ones going. What the fuck is going on?
Who's babysitting out there, children?
I've never seen a room as busy on a Monday. And you were like, oh yeah, it's so busy. We've sold Tuesday as well. You're like.
Remember full rooms?
Remember that?
Full rooms.
So that the energy in the room, second to none. My plan, because I hadn't drank for like 3 months before that night, because I wanted to lose weight to get like ready for the fight. my plan was the second our fight was finished to climb out of the ropes, go straight to the bar and get 2 beers and down them. And I couldn't even do it. My heart didn't stop racing from that fight for about 40 minutes. And I know that sounds a long time. I'm not exaggerating. Like backstage, I was like, I couldn't explain the best gig I've ever had is about 5% of the feeling I got post-fight. And I fucking lost as well.
Right, and there's a doctor there. You had like a proper...
Yeah, there was a proper setup. Like, it was because we used the martial arts gym, Millennium Martial Arts, done it as if they were setting up like a proper one of their events. Yeah. Even though we weren't athletes, they were setting it up like...
There's probably more reason to have all the setup, really, isn't it? Like,
but when so you went into the ring first, I think, and then Gav went in second, is that right?
Yeah, the fucking...
I was, so on the like, they had like a catwalk, essentially, to get into the ring. So
you had a proper walk in, like, you were elevated all the way through to the ring.
Love it.
I was stood behind Gav on the thing to watch him walk in.
Macklemore can't hold us.
Yeah, and he walked out with this banner that said 800 of us, all part of a story where Kieran lives. And the noise and energy in that room when Gav bounced, and when I say bounced, he fucking bounced into that ring. He like Macklemore Can't Hold Us comes on, and he comes skipping down the fucking runway into the thing, and I started crying. I couldn't handle it.
It was a proper overload of emotion for everyone.
And built up through the night, and they know you, and they know you, and your brother like Gav runs Punch Drunk with you, and like well loved as well. Both of you are so loved.
Yeah. It's nice. Like it was also another thing on our fight was I asked about, because we were putting my head guards on, and I was just going to the lad that, because you know they had like proper boxers backstage which we were warming up on the pads and everything. I went, do I have to wear these? He was like, well, it's advised. I was like, you mean do you have to wear them? And he was like, well, no. And I went, Gav, do you want to just not wear head guards? And then I was like, fuck it, took my head guard off, and then I was like, you have to wear shoes. I went in barefoot like a proper gypsy.
Do you have to wear gloves?
Do I have to wear shorts?
I know he's my brother, but can I take knives? Let's make it interesting.
Do you need teeth?
You smashed each other's head in for
there was
three straight rounds.
But there was no technique. It was just swinging for each other. It was a scrap. It was like a car park brawl that we had. Like, it was,
which is the most entertaining, isn't it?
Well, I find that I like the UFC, and I always loved watching Robbie Lawler fights because his defense isn't great. Yeah. He just wants to go in and batter the cunt in front of him, you know, so he'll go in swinging, leave yourself open and just guard with his face.
Yeah, if you're not an expert in technique and like ground game and wrestling, you want to fucking dust up.
Yeah, so I just thought I would just go for it, would start swinging.
And your fight was called a draw. And I know for those people who weren't there and can't understand this, that it's like, of course it was a draw. The two hometown lads who put the event on, no one has to lose that. But it was a fucking draw. Like, they punched 7 shades of shite out of each other for 3 2-minute rounds. Just constant tail houses, just taking punch after punch and giving them back. And if you were trying to call this fight, you're like, I don't really know. They've beat the living shite out of each other.
Oh, amazing!
That was like that was the popular consensus that it was a draw and it wasn't just in the spirit of the night and stuff. But my dad told us he thought Gav won. Didn't he count for it at all?
Are you proud of me, Dad? Well, you know, Gav had it on my scorecard.
He definitely had money on Gav, didn't he, for that? You know, you're a bit biased when you've got a bet on.
Yeah, a little illegal bookie in the corner.
There's so much illegal bookies going on.
Was there?
So many like little side bets on the tables.
Was there really? I had no idea about that.
Yeah. Proper money changing hands on.
That wasn't for the operation in America, was it? That's for the kid. This is for fucking Dad. Did you used to fight your brother when you were a kid? Did you feel like did you have dust ups?
He had a growth spurt and was stopped when he started battering us. So we used to scrap for a bit, and then like it got a bit like.
He's a couple of years older.
He's 2 years older than me. It got a bit one-sided, so I started being a bit more respectful. And then he used to look out for us, and he used to stick up for us and stuff. So like he was very much like older brother, harder brother for a bit. But then like
don't fuck with Kai because Gav will come and fuck you up.
He would look after us. Like he wasn't notoriously hard and blithe, you know what I mean? But he would still look after us.
Yeah. He's notorious. If he'd moved to where I'm from. He'd be the cock of the whole fucking county. But in Blythe, he's like, yeah, he's all right. Yeah, it's kind of handy.
Yeah, I don't get the vibe that where you're from, there's many fucking handy scrappers. To be honest,
I think Gav could have been running the school, the fucking whole like district. Like he was, he's he's like one of them, isn't he? Like, he's super positive, but I would never fuck with him. Not that I'd fuck with you guys.
He's got the best kind of disability. He's got this overactive enzyme that eats fat. It can be bad for you because it can affect like internal organs and stuff, but it means that he can eat anything he wants and he's ripped.
Nightmare.
It's like a fucking superpower.
I'd lose an organ for that.
I've been starving since fucking June, mate.
Honestly, the cunt is always shredded. Like, no matter what his workout regime is, he's always shredded. And
I'd lose a kidney to be ripped.
Would you?
Oh, yeah. A little bit yellow and fucking thin. That'd be amazing.
Like some ripped Homer Simpson.
I don't care if I cough up blood.
I'm fucking smoking.
We've got all the footage. We've got it professionally recorded. The boxing it's online, so I'll give you the link for it so that you can put it on your socials and all that. So.
Our boss.
Oh, they would love that.
They would.
This has been mentioned a few times. We've never told the story. Back in the day when it was you and me in my fucking office, we maybe talked about it. But there'll be a whole load of like new fans that haven't heard this. I think they'd love to see it.
I think they would. I've watched it once at that night in Edinburgh. Because we did like a screening of it, didn't we? At Frankenstein's.
We had a screening. It was nice. And you know what it is? It's comedy all the way through. Rod Gilbert hosts it. He's a master of ceremonies for the whole thing, and he is on point all the way. Like
he was brilliant, wasn't he?
He was punchlines everywhere, man. Like and then John Robertson anchored the commentary, and he was there was a rotation like me, Jojo Smith, Mick Ferry, Gavin Webster. There was like a handful of comics just rotated around, being his buddy on the commentary team.
Rod Gilbert was, because I'd never met Rod Gilbert before that night, and like, not that you have a perception of him being a knob or anything from telly, but when someone's that famous and clearly, you know, like, to get him to host it was amazing. You don't expect someone as big as that at an event like that to be so sound. But on the night out, he asked me and Elliot for a picture. He was like, "You two boys, did you see?" He was like, "Can we get a photo, us three?" And I was like,
"Class."
He was so sound.
Nah, Rod, let me have my night.
Yeah, have some respect there, mate.
And then you sort of forget, like, big celebrities like that to sort of forget about, you know, when they see you, like, where do I know you from? And then a couple of years later in Edinburgh in the Loft Bar, he comes up and he's like, "All right, scrapper." And I was like,
"Yeah,
how are you?"
He's a fucking good guy and a great comic, innit?
He was fucking unbelievable. That screening in Edinburgh was great as well. We all there. I'm stood with Elliot. We like, let's get a pint and we'll watch it together. And the amount of comics who weren't part of the event who came to watch that. Michelle Wolf, you know, big American superstar Michelle Wolf, she come to watch that screening.
I didn't even know that.
She was there with JP.
Yeah.
JP's the guy who books all the comics for Conan. And he goes to Edinburgh every year. So the guy who books the comedians for Conan and Michelle Wolf, Netflix star, done the White House correspondent.
Watching you up at Cut Elliot.
Yeah.
Watch Barry Dodds in a pink unitard. I mean, is this happening? I love it.
Yeah.
You never done it again. It's not happening again.
There's a thirst for it as far as like audience and comedians go. Like the people that are involved in making it happen want it to happen, right? But what made it special was that it was a time sensitive charity, and like we had to come up with something fast. And that's what we come up with, and it would literally just be a shadow of the original.
It never replicate it.
And would
properly.
And it would raise money for a charity, so it would be worth it. And the fact that we could source a charity that was in need, and we could get behind that, but it just it would work. It just wouldn't be the same. We couldn't compare it.
It couldn't possibly It happened at the right time because there's a WhatsApp group, not a WhatsApp, like a Facebook group chat, and every year on the anniversary of it, I just message in it and like, "It's happening, lads, happy anniversary," and then there's a little chat for a couple of days and then it fizzles out again. And I think everyone would do it again.
We'll do it when Kane's old enough to box in it.
Did he? And is he all right?
Amazing. It's a happy ending. Mate.
That's such a comedian way of looking at it, isn't it? Like, it wouldn't be as good if it had been run by promoters. They'd have been like, "We are doing this every year, maybe twice a year. Let's see how it goes. Maybe franchise it." I love it that you've gone, "Nah, it was just magical."
It would dilute the magic, I think.
Yeah, it would have to be something else that was time sensitive, and I don't think praying for there to be another ill child so that we can just have another scrap.
If we need time sensitive,
really good mentality, isn't it?
Charity events, we can just take Milo to the fucking Alps, stick him on the top of a mountain, and see if he can get down in 4 days.
Fight for Milo's thumb.
Never seen someone look so spannery on a fucking slope.
He was pitiful. I wanted to bully him, weirdly. Felt like bullying him.
Yeah.
Tell you what though, when we got to the bottom of the hill, that like this is not the equivalent, but I don't booze loads anymore. But there's certain times when you're like, I want a beer more than anything. Like post fight, when we got to the bottom of the hill, they call it après-ski, which is a wanky 80s thing of like, oh god, it's after. But oh, that was so great. Going, we're not dead.
We're alive.
He nearly killed us. Fucking amazing.
Shall we have a very short break and then come back with some questions and some stuff like that?
Just I think we should.
Yes, maybe an advert or something. Maybe a sponsor. The money cunts.
Oh god, we nearly got away with it.
What's happening, guys? Do us a favour. Only take you 2 seconds. Leave a like on this video. Go and subscribe to our channel and ring the bell if you haven't done that already. A little comment. All these things help us with the YouTube algorithms. We'd be very, very grateful. It'll take you 2 seconds. Go and do it now. And then we'll get back to the pod. Go ahead. Are we back? Are we back? Are we going to be back?
We're back.
And we're back. Enjoyed that poo.
Nice. Have a poo, yeah?
Nice.
Quick poo, that.
Well, time sensitive, wasn't it? I had to come back and couldn't really
It was a poo for charity.
Yeah.
You know when you have a poo, how do you stem the bleeding?
Huh? Oh, I think that's another medical problem, Kai.
That's what we've quickly learned about Kai's podcasting technique. He starts with medical problems and then it softens up. No one's answered.
No one's answered.
Well, I don't know how to stop it. I just,
You just pray.
I get a bit of blood on the tissue sometimes.
Jesus
really?
Christ.
No.
You know when you never have like a bit of a day of it where you have like 4 or 5 poos and you a bit of a
4 or 5 poos.
Oh, dear.
You never get a call where you've wiped too much and there's still stuff on and you're going, oh, fuck it, you just wedge a bit up and save it for later.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
You never put a tampon in your arsehole.
Just get in
An
the
arse
shower.
Yeah.
I get in the shower, mate.
Do you know what? I can't believe everyone's like the French you got the bidet. It's so weird. Totally makes sense though,
It's the
doesn't
best
it?
thing in the world.
Carl
Little
doesn't have a
fucking
poo without
shower
getting
for
a
your
shower.
butt. It makes
Yeah,
sense.
I was putting Anusol on the other day, right? I was on my back, fucking legs in the air, mirror in front of us, right? Putting it, you know how it's got the little tube that you put up your bum?
Sorry, for what?
Anusol.
Right.
Which needs a better name, by the way, fucking Anusol.
Anusol.
Right? You have to ask for it over the counter.
So you had to do the baby, the
Is
full baby
Anusol
change.
like an amalgamation of anus oil?
Aye. What
It's
is it like?
I thought it was anusol.
And
But
Anusol,
what you say
anus-
sounds nicer. Anusol sounds even worse.
Cream for your fucking asshole.
Arse cream. So I puts the tube up, right?
Legs in the air.
Legs in the air, like a dead fly, right? And I fucking squeezed the tube. Cunt just exploded in my hand. I forgot to take the lid off. I fucking had the lid of the Anusol still on.
Did you just start slapping it on your arsehole?
And I had, but I had to pull it real slow because the cap, like I was like, if this cap comes up off my bum, I'll let the guy in fishing for it. I'd done that, fucking rubbed it in. I had to like, I've got flatmates at the minute. My lasses are more than fathers because we're moving house, and I'm in with Sloss. And I'm running across the corridor with fucking knee pants on, a handful of fucking Anusol, just hoping I didn't bump into his glass or something, bump into Cara. Like, it's not how it looks.
Are you all right, Kai? Is everything all right? You having to
what?
apply cream up your arsehole?
Considering everything, I'm all right.
All right, cool.
I'm pretty resilient. I'm a resilient beast.
Yeah.
But you were squatting over the mirror the other day, putting cream on your bumhole,
Aye. thinking
I look like a dead fly and having flashbacks to that Big Brother's bit on the side. Just staring at your own arsehole, thinking of the worst thing you've ever done.
In that one, the one where I had the handful of Anusol and knee trousers on was the least degrading fly impression that I've done. The least degrading.
Oh, Carlos, have you got some fucking questions?
Yeah. So earlier, Kai, you mentioned being on Crufts. This kind of ties in. This is from Dan J. Hiya, lids. This is short and to the point. If you were a dog, what breed would you be?
Oh, I know what I'd
Breed
be.
a dog.
Yeah. So if you were a dog, what would you be?
Oh, probably just some like mongrel, some just like cross of everything.
Yeah, some little...
With a sore little arsehole.
I constantly go and run with one of them cones on, so I don't bite the stitches on my arsehole. It's mangy. My fur's meant to be white, but it's kind of like a piss-stained yellow.
Got smoker's fur. Proper Blythe dog.
You'd be a pug, wouldn't you?
What?
You'd be a pug.
What the fuck are you saying that to me
You
for?
are quite puggy.
You are a pug, yeah.
I would
How
have
the
said
fuck am I
pug.
puggy? He's He's more puggy than me.
I'm a Great Dane.
Saying that, you're more puggy.
No,
He's got breathing difficulties. He's got a round face.
You kind of snarl when you drink.
I think I'm a pit bull, me, and I reckon you're a pug.
Yeah. You're a fucking pit bull. I'm a pit bull. Fucking murderer of women.
If you treat me right, then I'm quite nice. But if you piss me off, I'll take your fucking arm off.
Yeah, you're a bit.
I'm a pit bull.
You're a bit nippy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd not be fun with postman. I don't think.
I reckon Carl is one of those long-haired, gimpy ones.
Afghan hound.
Yeah.
Oh, they're great then. Nice one. Fuck you.
One of them dogs that looks like it uses hair straighteners.
Yeah, that's the one. What are they called? Yeah,
Afghan hound.
Yeah. Well, you're one of them.
I'll take that.
Sounds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice
he's a
hobby.
pug.
Well
groomed.
I'd be a well-groomed dog. I'd be a Rhodesian Ridgeback. So fuck you.
What's that?
I don't know. It's not funny. I just wanted to be a harder dog than whatever you were making
And
me.
you went with Rhodesian Ridgeback.
Yeah, it's a
fucking
monster.
nails, mate.
Are they? I don't even know what they
They're
look like.
lion fighters.
Yeah.
Lion fighters.
Yeah.
No, I reckon French bulldog. You can have that if you want.
And you'd be like
Which one's a French bulldog?
dingo.
Why do you keep making
It's like
me
a
the
pug. It's like small.
Stop making me the little fat mongy dogs. Why am I a little fat mongy dog?
What animal would you be then if you weren't a dog? What
He's
animal?
gone blind.
If you weren't a dog, what animal would you be?
But
I'd be
honestly,
a fly.
watch it.
The fly life chose me.
I did huge fly life. Go on, golden eagle, lion. What are you? Some majestic fucking
A
beast.
flying lion or something.
I be a unicorn.
Phoenix.
The fucking West Derby unicorn.
I think you'd be a toad.
You are pissing me off through made-up animals.
Adam, you'd
Made
be...
up. Toads aren't made up. You took a bullshit alarm on toads is not existent. That mythical beast from fucking
Why am I biting?
from a Roald Dahl book.
Why am I biting? Talks about banging my nana.
I can just imagine you just sat there. It's like, and he's fucked as well because you like eating flies.
Flies aren't animals, though, are they? They're insects.
Still an animal.
Deep, that called deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not get.
But aren't we all animals?
Let's
deep
not.
down?
Let's not get fucking.
You'd be
Factual.
a flamingo, Dan.
No, he wouldn't be a flamingo. He's
That's
nowhere.
That's a shout, actually.
He's
Gracias.
not
He's
fancy
very
enough
pink.
for that.
No,
He's
I think
pink.
he's
Yeah,
definitely
you are a
flamingo.
bit pink.
I could be
Pink toad.
What?
A pink toad.
Just stop being hurtful. Tell me which majestic beast you are. A griffin.
You're a bison.
Go on. A bison.
I think maybe
Go on.
a dolphin.
I think you'd be a panda. I think you'd make a good panda.
Yeah,
panda?
Lazy fuck.
A fucking dolphin! Can you imagine a special kid having to swim with him? A fucking budget Make-A-Wish Foundation. I want to swim with a dolphin. Fuck off. Get off me.
Scouse dolphin.
I spraying out his blowhole.
Just there at the Albert Dock, and there's Adam like swimming around with some dying child.
I could be a dolphin because I like water, you see. But I'm not nasty enough to be a shark. But I'd fucking smash some nasty people's heads.
Are you sleek or are you hairy?
No, I'm quite hairy.
sleek.
But dolphins are hairy.
Fucking ding that. Fuck off. Fuck you, I can't reach it.
Do you want it?
Yeah.
You can keep it over there, mate.
I think I told you this. There was a guy at
yeah.
Hot Water once who Paul Smith went, "What do you do?" And he said, "I shave dolphins." And Paul went, "Dolphins aren't hairy." And he went, "Because I'm fucking great at me job."
Mate, of all the bullshit jobs I've heard made up at a comedy club, that is way up there. That might be the best one ever. Fucking rat.
Yeah, you
Dolphin, I reckon. Oh, yeah, I can't.
Dolphin. A vengeful dolphin. I go around battering people. Fucking revenge
Again,
dolphin.
no, it's not a fucking animal, is it?
What, it is
Yeah.
a dolphin?
It's not. It lives in the sea.
And that means it's not an animal.
I'm talking, it's on the land and shit.
I think a
you put
dolphin
in
is a
stipulations.
dolphin is an animal though, isn't it?
Of course it's a fucking animal. What are you
Oh,
talking
having this
about?
conversation.
It's a sea creature, isn't it?
So I've got to be a land animal.
Yeah.
Oh,
You got to be able to see Dan and let go to him and say, "I'm happening, lad."
a jaguar.
There you go. There you go. That's what I was talking about.
It
There's always going to be
It couldn't have
something.
been self-deprecating, I know. You could have just been a squirrel or something like that.
No.
You're a bit squirrely.
I feel like a squirrel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like a squirrel. I might just stop being who I really am. Yeah,
Grey or
toad.
red? You can't choose my animal.
Well, what are you picking then?
I don't
He's
know.
a flamingo.
He isn't a flamingo.
Just a little monkey.
No. A little monkey.
Yeah. One of them fun ones.
Was it capuchin?
Yeah, one of them, Carl. Yeah.
You got another question?
Gesundheit.
Hey.
You know what a capuchin is? Ross has one in Friends.
Yeah. I'd love a monkey. I wanted a pet monkey when I was a kid. Mum wouldn't let me have one.
What a shock.
Can you even get them?
No, they're illegal.
Mate, he could get you a monkey in 3 hours. He knows
I love
people.
being in Liverpool, mate.
Right.
You
hang
need a
on.
shotgun and a monkey. He's got fake uncles that'll sort you anything out.
Look,
Yeah,
right.
of course I can get you a fucking monkey.
Right. I reckon
love the
Kyle
kid-
back me up on this.
I love the connection with working class people and exotic pets. Like, it's so fucking class.
It's me fucking lizards. And do you want a shotty?
Yeah, I was writing through Blythe once, and this fucking kid went by on a BMX with a fucking albino snake around his arm, right? And just pedalled by like this, right? And I just went, I shouted, and I was like, mate, it was just before my wedding and all. I was back in Blythe just before I went out for my wedding. And I called him back. I was like, mate, is that a snake? He's like, do you want to hold it? Do you want a photo with it? And I nearly took it. And I was like, if this is a fucking scam that you play where I get your snake, you take my phone, and then you fuck off on your BMX. And I just turned up to me, like, my fiance just before we went down. Look, I've lost my phone, but I've got a snake.
It's for the wedding pictures.
And I couldn't. What can you do if you left with a snake? You kind of just put it down. I was coming to the sports centre. There's like a skate park there where all the kids are playing. You kind of just release a snake with them.
Kai, how many times
yeah.
have you been ripped off where you're constantly thinking maybe people are driving around with snakes to steal phones?
Steal
What a
phones.
complicated scam.
It was a complicated scam, but he was halfway there. He'd already done the heavy lifting. He had a
Yeah.
snake.
Mate,
Yeah.
He was asking us for my phone.
that
I
was
didn't want to trust that man with my phone.
how old was he?
About my age.
Do you not reckon snakes are more expensive than phones, though? Like,
Maybe he's high, but I didn't. Maybe he
Could be a breeder.
Maybe he nicked the phone and that nicked the snake, and then he was like, "Why?"
he's just trying to
He's
constantly
yet-
upgrade.
He's
going to give someone their phone to hold and take their car off.
It's innovation.
I would definitely release it into the wild.
If you got left
I'm not
with it.
touching this. Fuck off.
And then nobody would believe your story. You couldn't take a photo of it because he's got your phone.
Oh yeah.
So you'd be like, someone took my phone to a snake, and you're like, all right, Dan, here we're going again.
oh my god.
Spinning a yarn. Like, you'd need to keep the snake as proof. You'd need to be walking around with this predator just so people would believe
Snake
you.
bites everywhere. Just as the venom takes on, say Bridget.
Call an ambulance, someone took my phone.
Albino snakes are 30 quid, so it wouldn't have been worth your time. Albino snakes are £30.
30 quid, you can get an
Yeah.
albino
Can we
snake.
get one for the studio?
Yeah, but not like an XL. Just
Yeah, but you grab it, don't you?
When we take the Christmas lights down, just put a fucking snake all around the gaff.
no.
No.
I was like in Blythe now, someone tried to
I hate
sell
them. I hate snakes.
Someone tried to sell Barry Castanola rats. He was outside the bookies having a cigarette. It's classic Barry. And then this bloke opened the conversation with psst. Psst, psst. Best start of a conversation I've ever heard in my life. Psst, psst. Hey,
Want to buy any rats?
don't buy some rats. Proper quality rats. They've got a high-tech cage and everything. Proper quality with a high-tech cage.
Oh my god. Had he nicked
The
someone's?
smell of shampoo and conditioner. They've been tested on. He didn't have them, right? But it was like, follow me to the avenues. I've got this rats in the cage. We wanted a gun, but we didn't.
Yeah, I'd have definitely gone just for the material I would have got out of that.
Oh, and then
bought 3 strats on the streets of right.
and then somebody, this lad I went to school with, put on his Facebook status about 3 weeks later. Someone just tried to sell us 4 rats doing Blythe, not 5, not 5. So I'm like, they weren't that quality then, were they?
Right,
God.
I want you to back me up on something here, right? Because he thinks I'm chatting shite. I'm from a shithole that I love, and I know you are as well.
Aye.
It's rough, but it's yours,
But
isn't it?
it's how I see that.
Yeah,
Like,
right. I reckon if I wanted to, if I really needed to, I could text a few different people, and by the close of play today, I could get a gun.
by the end of the day,
Yeah. Do you reckon you could get a gun by
I
tonight?
reckon so. I don't know the person to get the gun, but I know the person to get the person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm 1 degree of separation from the guy that can get the gun.
Yeah.
And I know exactly who to ask to connect that.
Do you know how many degrees I am away? I'm 2 because I
I was-
ring you.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's-
When I said this on an episode a few months ago, he looked at me like, fucking divvy, like, you can't just be getting guns. If you're from a working class town with the nice, right people, they'll sort you anything out.
Rats,
People will do
snakes,
anything
and
for you.
guns outside any bookies. Jesus Christ.
Carlos.
Hello, I've got a comedy question here. This is from Richard Peel.
Richard
Pelo.
P.
Pelo.
Ricky Pilo.
Is there one?
Pilo.
Paedophile.
Is there one bit of comedy?
Got to stick for him forever, dude.
Are you a paedophile? I love Rich.
Is there one bit of comedy that you've seen that makes you jealous that you didn't think of it? You've watched it and it's just perfect.
Yeah, that happens quite a lot. It's not normally with famous comics, that though. It's when I see a mate do something so like succinct and I'm like, where the it's never the most complicated routines. That it's the observational bit
The Wozniak bit.
that has been in front of your fucking face for years and you've never articulated it the way they have.
The Wozniak watching telly in the car bit.
So Simon Wozniak. Do you know Simon?
No,
He's
yes.
from.
You're going to know him.
Yes, I think I've met him.
You will know.
So he's from.
He's going to be
Southport.
proper.
Yeah, and he's got this routine which I won't bastardize, but it's about like he likes driving late at night because he can put a documentary on in the car and have a can of lager, and it's just so stupidly funny. And I had to follow him at Hot Wars a couple of months ago, and he's on his way up. Do you know what I mean? He's a fucking really, really, really good comic who's just breaking into the clubs. But I would rather follow Phil Nickel than Simon Wozniak,
Right,
because he's so similar to the type of stuff I do.
If Phil Nickel's a fucking, he kills the room, like
He smashes it.
kills
Yeah.
the gig to a point that like you cannot reach, but at least you can change gears and do something different.
Yeah.
You know what I
Whereas
mean?
Wozniak's so similar, and he destroy. And if he's in the middle and I've got to close, I'm always like. So I always watch him. I watch everything he says, so I don't tread on the same stuff. And I try and gauge what the audience are like and what I can get away with. And I watched him do that bit a couple of months ago, and I was crying laughing at it. And I was like, it's just so like I've done a drive home wanting to put something on my phone a million. Yeah. So I get that, but it's normally with a colleague rather than an idol. That.
Yeah, because sometimes you can enjoy someone's set and you're not thinking, oh, I wish I had that, because it's a set that you couldn't do. Like, if I'm watching Tom Stade, you need to be Tom Stade to do that routine, because it's the way he is that breathes that life into it. But I remember I was watching an Apollo set by Jason Byrne, and I was trying to write a set about when I had my eye operation, I had squint surgery, and I had to wear the patch on my glasses with a prism on and all that, and then I was like trying to construct something, and I saw him on the Apollo doing like the special eye bit, and I was like, oh, that topic is done and dusted now. That's just, I can't even get in there with my own angle on it.
Yeah, because
done it,
once you've seen someone do that, even if it's not quite the same bit, you can't write that bit. Even if you're like, it's sort of different, I'll do mine.
Yeah,
when you're developing yours, you'll start leaning that way, because you're like, shit, that train of thought of the joke sort of dominates yours.
Yeah, you'll start feeling like you're doing the B tracks of their
The bit they cut out.
their greatest hits. The bit that didn't make the cut for them.
Yeah.
So that does happen quite a lot. Good question, though. I liked it.
Dan, anything?
There's honestly, I think back of all the comics you've seen, and it's almost not about level. I've seen open spots at Beat the Frog do a perfectly good fine set, and then just have one absolute gem. And then you see headliners like you're saying about Tom Stade, and your favourite bit of material from a guy who you think is absolutely untouchable, and then there's this one joke where you're like, oh, I could do that in my voice. So when people say, oh, Gav Webster's panda bit, I couldn't do the panda bit. Panda? You're going to town in panda hour? It just wouldn't suit my voice.
Couldn't get moved for panda.
Yeah. There are some bits that are amazing and are your favourite bits that you can't do. But then there's bits that you see, there's loads. I can't think of a specific one. But when you see a bit and you're like, that could be one of my bits, and it like Adam says, it's right there in front of you, and you've just missed it for your whole life. They're the best observational bits, where everyone goes, "Oh God, yeah!" I love those bits.
I had this a couple of weeks ago actually with Rob Mulholland, because he's put this routine out. I don't think he'd mind me mentioning it. He was like, he's on stage at the Frog, and he's like, it just feels like they're just making up these restrictions as they go along. Like, Boris Johnson's got a big tombola and he's gone, right, that is gyms in Leicester closed. And it was just so easy. And I was like, it's just so succinct. Yeah. Next question.
Next question. This is from Ian Pringle. This is on the podcasty kind of theme.
Pringle.
What makes a good podcast for you guys? And do you think podcasts will eventually have the same influence on comedy in the UK as they do in America in terms of TV and exposure? So first question, what makes a good podcast for you?
I reckon the chemistry is big. The chemistry between the acts on it.
The hosts,
between the hosts. Like I reckon that when you're like you genuinely feel like you're with two good mates that are having a laugh. Like and you pick up the vibes from it, don't you?
I really like it when, and I think we're quite good at this, not to blow our own trumpet too much, but Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer are great at this as well. When they make each other laugh to the point of crying, like not makes me laugh like watching someone else lose their shit laughing. So when
you like them, if you don't like people and they're laughing at themselves, you're like, oh, these cunts.
Yeah.
But when you love both of the guys, like that, Bill, like the Bill and Bert podcast is great as well. But Two Bears is fucking amazing when they really corpse.
Yeah, I like watching them genuinely having fun. Because for me, if I want to listen to a really interesting podcast, I'll put an episode of Joe Rogan on with a fucking CIA operative on. Because that's there for that. Like, I think that's what Rogan caters for rather than... And I'll obviously put a comic on that sometimes, but normally I'll put a podcast on in the car. It's the only time I ever listen to them, really. I don't watch podcasts at home or anything. But if I've got a long commute, I'll put one on. And I just want to have a laugh. I just want it to be funny. So I tend to put one where I know that they're so clearly happy to be making the podcast and being really funny. And what was the second part of this question?
Do you think podcast influence in the UK will be as big as it is in the US?
So I think what he's getting at there is like in America, obviously it's bigger now to do Joe Rogan than it is to do Conan.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, if you end up on Rogan's podcast, that's bigger than TV now.
Yeah.
12 million downloads and listens.
What is it, 10 to 12
it's
million?
fucking massive, isn't it?
This podcast's done well more for my profile and career than any telly I've ever done.
Yeah, do you know what it does such a good job for your stand-up because people in the audience know you intimately before you talk. And you get on stage and they're just like, there's me pal. And they're relaxed already. So it's
quite disconcerting at times though. Like a couple of months ago, I don't know whether I told you this on or off pod, but I did tell you that. I split up with me ex-girlfriend Jade, right? And we'd mentioned it on the podcast, but it hadn't gone out yet. But in my head,
and in the press release.
But we'd spoke early on in the formative months of this podcast when we were locked down. We were speaking about our misses so often.
Yeah.
And the listeners got to know Laura and Jade almost as well as they got to know us because we're talking about them a lot. It's on stage, you're hot water, right? And we've recorded the episode where I've gone, newly single man, we broke up. Very respectful, and I wish her all the best, but whatever. And in my head, I'm like, right, the podcast listeners know about it. And I was on stage at Hot Water, and I went, so I split up with my girlfriend recently, and there was two girls to the right of me on stage. I went, split up with my girlfriend recently, and I just heard one of them go, oh, Jade?
Oh, that's just invested.
It's
threw invested me in
off
your life.
So much. The fact that they knew my life. Oh, it was fucking weird, mate. It really affected me.
But people do get that invested. I remember I was doing a show in New York, and me and Sloss were just with some podcast listeners in the like after the show, and I just turned to Natalie and asked her something because I asked her a question I didn't know the answer. I turned to Natalie. I went, Natalie, and the girls that were chatting to just went, oh my God, is that Natalie? And left us and just swarmed around her to fuss around her because she had so much of a mention that they felt like they knew her.
Yeah.
And they're finally putting a face to the name and they were just like, oh, we'll talk to these cunts later.
By the way, Laura is not into that.
Natalie was weirded out by it completely. She was like, what's that about? Like, she couldn't understand it. She couldn't get her head around how that even happened.
Well, it's not. Yeah, podcasting is really intimate, but when you like Laura loves me doing this podcast. She does not want people going, oh, I know you. Like, it's her worst nightmare. It's exactly why we do this. It's exactly what she doesn't want. She just doesn't like the idea that people, like, it's just,
I don't think
she's
Laura's
quite private.
Gonna identify herself at live shows if she ever comes, is she?
She said she won't. If she comes to a live show, we are not allowed to be like, Laura's here. And people keep trying to find her on Instagram. And she's like, nope. So you can try if you want. She's not going to accept you because she's like, not about that life. So what happens to Natalie is just like,
she was totally shocked by it. She was like, what was that? Like, how did that happen?
How long have you been doing you've been doing podcasts a long time.
2016. And it's Sloss and Humphries on the road. And it's for when we're on the road. It's for when we're touring together. It's a tour diary. We do 2 a week. And then when we're not on the road, we do them just when we feel like it. Yeah. We hit it hard through the first lockdown. Well, like, people are going to be locked down alone. People are going to need company and stuff. So we'll bring it back for that. So the first lockdown, we've done it thick and fast.
Yeah.
And this lockdown, we've only done one.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But
Mate,
we did it every
crack
fucking
on.
day in the first one.
Because the wave of people doing it is coming. And I feel like you're a bit ahead of it because of that following you've already got. We've got ahead of it. So I think the podcasting thing is going to be more influential, but there's going to be so many more of them. I started a podcast in 2014 and there was hardly any. I got nearly 1,000 downloads on the first episode, which is ridiculous because I had no profile. And it was just because there was less podcasts out.
Yeah.
Now there's so many more and another wave will come from this year. Because me and Adam have done well, there's more happening in the Northwest because of it. Because people go, oh, hang on. I could do something like that, and that's fine. Maybe they can, maybe they can't. But I think the influence is going to be there's going to be more influence, but it's going to be harder to crack on with podcasting.
Yeah, and we're going to get it back up. He's getting a studio built and stuff, so we're going to get it back up and running. Now that I'm up in Scotland, there's no reason not to. Like we've done it over the phone and over Zoom and shit. Through the lockdown. So now we're back together. There's no reason that we can't do it when we're not on the road.
We
can it's going to be an hour away, Edinburgh to Glasgow. But one thing we have been doing is we've been doing streaming on Twitch, where we'll do like just one-on-one with crowds, and it's class. I just sit there knitting, and I know how to knit. So I just sit there like I'm in a knitting circle, and what's good with the Twitch is the comments are coming in thick and fast, so that drives the conversation. So for me, it's just like I'm looking in a mirror because I can just see myself on my studio screen.
Yeah.
I can see all their comments coming in, and I'm just chatting away to them.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good way of connecting with people.
You're doing FIFA Twitch. I'm going to watch porn and commentate on it, and that's going to be called Dick Twitch.
Commentating on porn.
Yeah.
You want the terms of service to see what you can get away with.
Yeah.
You're going to get banned immediately. You're going to be
shit.
starting the bad boy at Twitch.
I'm going to have to be behind a paywall instantly. How many patrons have you got for Dick Twitch? None. But I'm fucking building it.
Do you know if you were in a porno, do you know what it'd be called? Toad in the hole.
Because you're a Yorkshire pudding.
It's the least factually correct thing I've ever heard.
Any holes a flamingo?
Wow.
Lewandowski over there.
Fucking hell. Oh, God. You had the floor as well. There was total silence.
Pissed on it.
Question.
Have a word.
We've got to have a word.
Oh.
It's time to have a word with Adam and Dan. Tell us all the problems,
Fucking toad.
friends. This was gonna be the whole podcast. Now let's shut that banner down.
Are you guys singing on that?
No, I improvised that song on an episode.
I just clipped it.
And then someone else actually sang it and put music to it and sent us it as I found them. Like,
And the best thing about it stopped Adam singing it, which is was a great day for the pod.
Dan doesn't like it when I sing or when I do my Kevin Webster impression.
Mate, honestly, I actually don't mind you singing, but it was that
Can
was
you sing in a Kevin Webster impression just for me?
Oh my God.
What song?
The have a word song.
Can you do Paul Simon? You can call me Al.
Oh.
It's Kevin Webster.
You can call me Sophie!
Baby, you can call me out. Hey!
Call me Kev.
Man walks down Coronation Street. This is why am I soft in the middle? That was fucking impressive.
Nice.
Just like the charity boxing, you've peaked now. I don't think you'll ever be able to do either again. Sing or Kevin Webster.
Call me out.
Right, this is from Simon. The
Pause.
purpose of my
Sio.
message is to get you to have a word with my son.
Oh, okay.
I love him all
Who's
the
it
world.
From? Who's it from?
Simon.
Simon. Wait, just make sure.
Stop the pot! Oh, it's Simon.
It's because we've just been saying Kevin.
Yeah.
My dad's called Kevin. I was like, is this a prank?
I love him all the world, but he's a bone idle shit sometimes, so he's lazy. Me and his mum gave him loads of adverts for part-time jobs that he could work around his uni course, yet he's done fuck all about it. I don't know if he thinks the work is beneath him, but the only reason I keep banging on is because I think he could have extra beer tokens to go out to town, or even save up for a lad's holiday.
Both good reasons to have money.
Exactly. I just think there's loads he's missing out on, and he's having no experience. I had loads when I was his age. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he should go out and slag himself out, but don't you reckon he needs to get some experience, get a job, and get the old 10 to 2s? I'm guessing that's the Adam Rowe special. Have a little bet with the lads. Have a little poll on a night out. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, it wasn't the best written. Have a word. Like, Carl was having a fucking nightmare.
Well, I'm going to be honest, the last paragraph was totally paraphrased.
Like, Simon wrote it and it was like, it almost had a bit of a rant feel to it. I was listening to Carl read that. I started feeling
gist
sorry
of this
for
is
Carl.
his son won't get a job.
Someone get a job, and he wants him to get it so he can go out and experience holidays and nights out and betting with his boys and the fucking girls and that.
It's a reasonable concern, but you've got to try and put yourself in the lad's shoes. Like, he's not inspired by stuff, is he?
No.
How old are you when you're in uni? What's uni age?
18 to 21.
Have you stopped growing
Unless
at
you
that
fucking
point?
A-levels.
Because I always feel for, like, teenagers that are lazy and they get a lot of hard stacks for being bone idle, but their bones are growing and they're knackered from just gaining an inch every week. At 18, you should be past that, right?
Yeah, mate, but you got to get... When I got a paper round when I was fucking 12, I always had jobs. It's nice to have extra money. No, but you're like... You can't be like, you're 23 now. I think I might still be growing, Mum. I'm really like, I don't want to get work. My hair's growing.
Are you going to make
mine wasn't.
Etta get a job when she's like late teens? She's still... If you're living under my roof, you're going working down the mine, girl.
I'm going to give her an allowance, but I think I just think that urge to graft and earn your own money so that you can be like, I don't give a shit if you're fun. Because when parents give kids all their money, I've got no gauge of like, what is the value of anything. Like, well, I need it. Can you give it me? She's going to get an allowance, but I'd like to see her just go out and fucking get a job. It's also not just about the money, is it? It's about I don't want to just be sat here on my arse watching TV. I want to go out and meet.
Yeah, at that age, I was independence driven. I knew I wasn't going to get a car off mum and dad. I knew I wasn't going to get it like a lad's holiday. It wasn't going to be funded by my parents. If I wanted that, I had to stand up on my own too and go and get it. So I was driven by that already, just because I knew I needed them things.
Yeah.
I had to get up and go and work in a factory, pack lipsticks into boxes, sell me for time for money.
I used to take fucking every shift I got sent to me. Like, I just wanted more and more and more money. Like, I used to do mad shifts. I think I did a full 24-hour shift at McDonald's once. Like, I did the 7 till 4.
You were there for 2 breakfasts.
Oh, mate, I had like 5 Mackies in one day. 7 till 4 p.m. And then someone didn't turn up for that shift for the 4 till midnight, so I did that. And then someone didn't turn up for the overnight, so I did that. Just loaded up on Red Bull, earned all the money.
Yeah.
Don't call me Rolly Bags.
And you're a grafter in comedy, and you're a grafter in comedy, and we were all out as like young teenagers, fucking doing stuff to make. He was selling sweets on the that urge to go out and earn, but you can't really force it on a kid. Because then you just that parent go, come on, get a job.
How do you teach work ethic? Because the thing is, the experience he's going to get from having a work ethic for a shitty, mundane job, if you can have a work ethic in that, when you find your passion, like we found stand-up, when you find that, you've got the work ethic that you've developed from your day job, and you can put that into your dream job.
Yeah.
So if his dream does come up, like if he does get inspired by something that gets him off his arse, he's not going to have a transferable skill of graft to put into it.
Also, I give it to Simon. He is leaning on his son, but he's not doing it in a cunty way. He's going, oh, come on.
Oh, he just wants the best.
Go and get smashed.
What's the best?
Go and try and smash some flaps. Like he's literally going, son, I'm not giving you fucking beer money. Go and earn some beer money. Go on a piss with your mates. Go on holiday.
Yeah.
Go on with our blessing.
Yeah. It
like
feels
he's
like
being dead sound. Finger a girl, mate. Get a job at Mackey's. Smash some bullshit. Like he's being a sound dad about it.
Yeah. He's doing it for the right reason. He's not like, hey, I'm not paying this fucking gas bill. He's like, listen, lad, do you want 8 beers instead of 4? Then you need to fucking pay for them, kids.
I think he's being sound about it, but don't know what you can do.
Yeah. At that age as well,
maybe it's the carrot at the end of the stick isn't what he's looking for. He might not be driven by going out and getting smashed or going on lads' holidays, but if you do get him into something like cars or something like that, you might go, well, I love cars, but I cannot have that without money. Or it could just be anything else, a hobby like rock climbing or something. It might be something that's at the end of the stick that he needs the money for. He's not going to sell the time for money if the money is going to be spent on something he's not interested in.
Yeah.
But
this is where the internet, and like you've talked about gaming before, and the PS5's just come out. brutal, isn't it? Because the internet is faster and these consoles are now shit hot, and it's more tempting to be like, should I just do this? Because it's fucking quality.
Aye.
Like at that, like my nephew is just really getting into computer games, and my sister's having to deal with that thing of like, why are we always trying to make him go and do something he doesn't want to do? This is what he wants to do. So go, come on, let's go outside. Let's go and just like do some sort of activity. Go around to your mates and play. And he's like, I just want to do this. He just wants to do Minecraft and all the shit that he does on his computer.
Yeah,
it's hard, isn't it? And then you're the parent going, come on. When I was your age, I went outside.
It's a good hobby.
age, though. Like if they're young, you've got to get them out, otherwise they're going to have no social skills.
Aye.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
Like if they're like 12, yeah. But if they're like 18, fucking leave them alone.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
I had a bit about it, and I'm not going to do it properly on here because I think it's still got legs, but it used to be so much more dangerous going out on the streets. And then the internet got really fucking fast, and computer games got way better, and paedophiles got more known about. And all of a sudden, like hanging around, like kids hanging around, it's just not as much as a threat. Back when you were like, do you remember, like, as a teenager, if you wandered into the wrong bit of where you live, you're like, oh, this is fucking hairy. And now you don't see them on the street corners as much because they're all watching hardcore porn and gaming.
I just keep the peels in the house.
Yeah. They're just abusing themselves rather than me as I walk past.
Sending death threats via fucking PlayStation DM. Someone sent me a death threat the other day because I beat him 3-0 at FIFA. Fucking shite, you've got no good players. And I was like, ha ha ha. I just replied, ha. He's like, I know where you fucking live, lad. And I'm on to you. You're that comedian, aren't you? I'll turn up at one of your gigs and shank you. I was like,
wow, because you got beat 3-0 on FIFA,
Yeah.
you fucking child.
and maybe they will. You know what I mean? Get a good story.
Good story out of it.
Yeah. Someone tries to stab you on stage. That's your career, mate. Isn't it?
Buy the rats, get stabbed by a FIFA player. This is how you develop Edinburgh shows.
Turning up to a gig would be the worst place to find you because you're in a room full of people who already like you. You're in a room full of people that have just enjoyed you in stand-up.
Yeah.
And then if they see you in trouble, they're going to hire you back.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine if they were there with the knife halfway through?
Why would he turn up?
I'm going to kill him, but that's a good bit. Clapping the knife. Yeah.
Turn up to beat us up in a room with me and 300 of my mates. Fucking idiot.
See, I punched drunk as well. It is literally 300 of your mates.
Oh, no one's starting a fight at fucking punch drunk. Good luck charging the stage where Gav bounds down. This one's not for charity. I love that have a word. I feel like we didn't resolve it, but I think Simon's got a difficult job on his hands there.
So do we empathise with a kid, or do we think like, where do you stand with it?
Because I'm the
old.
old.
Going to be boomers and going.
I know, but I'm the old guy on the pod, so I don't want to be like, he needs to pull his bloody finger out and get down at mine.
Well, it's up to him, isn't it? If he doesn't do it, he misses out. It's his life.
Yeah, man.
As you say, it's not just that going, I want money for rent. It's experience. He doesn't want to do it then.
Also, good on Simon for not just fucking paying for it. I really mean that. Regardless of how well this does, I think too much pocket money, too much allowance. I feel like as well, I might just like teach Etta about debt as well and offer like loan deals when she's like 13.
You kind of profit from her.
Just just to freak her out about debt. Going, you can have your pocket money, but if you want to borrow 4 weeks pocket money and then start fucking around with interest.
Also, I'll give you £7 for that necklace that you got for Christmas. Fucking cash for gold, Dad. Over here.
Teach her about
fucking pawn shop gold.
How fucking Blythe was that? That's a good idea, Dan. When I've got a kid, I'm going to teach her about cash converters.
Fucking Wonga, Dad.
Fucking brilliant.
I think that's a really good idea, to be honest, teaching about debt. I think it's mad that we don't get taught about like life skills in the school, but I do think putting interest rates on fucking lending your daughter 20 quid is a bit fucking grim.
The thing is, love, you borrowed £10 in July and that interest has grown and now you're not getting a fucking Christmas.
Sending the bailiffs round to her bedroom to take her fucking telly off her.
Wendy House.
Laura's like, why is she crying again? She's learning a lesson. Jesus, yeah, I don't think, but I think that I really wish, let's just going back to STIs as well.
Don't point at me when you say that.
But I don't like when you're a kid and your parents are always like, it's like condoms and like, I always felt like it was about getting a girl pregnant. That was like the concern. I really think I should have been shown the STIs potentially. Like that could be me. Now I'm looking forward. Me with like a fucking get my iPad out going, this is your debt repayment plan, love. Yeah, I know you're 12, but you'll learn. And here we just go on to photos. That is genital herpes. That's gonorrhea. Are you crying?
Are these pictures of you?
family shot. I don't know. Scare the shit out of her.
Shall we call that a podcast?
You're done, aren't you?
I've got to go to work.
Your body.
I've got work in 2 hours.
Your body language is getting.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys. Wrap it up.
Coffee's wearing off. I need a Mackey's or something now.
Check out Kai Humphries on everything. What's your Twitter? What's your
So podcast is Sloss and Humphries on the road. My Twitch is Kai Muggins, and I do some knitting in the afternoon. It's class. I love just sitting there in my knitting circle, chatting shit. Like, it's my favourite. And then I do a bit of gaming and I play like casual games like Stardew Valley. So I'm on Twitch, Kai Muggins.
And social media?
In social media is my name, Kai Humphries, on all of them, Instagram, Twitter and that.
Check.
At Kai Humphries.
It's been a pleasure catching up.
Can
Kai.
I just say as well, I'm going to mention the boxing's available to watch. I'll give you the link for that. But also I did a show about it. Like when we knew Keane was going to be all right and he's out of the woods, I spoke to his mom. I was like, can I do a show about the story?
You did a stand-up show?
I've done a stand-up show.
Oh, mate, that will go down
that.
a treat.
And it's on my website, kaihumphries.com. And I've got free shows on there. They can use COVID-19 as a discount to get all free as a discount.
I seen the stand-up show. I went and seen it in Edinburgh and I got very emotional on it because it's not only very, very funny, it's also a bit of an emotional one.
Is it racist?
I mean, he also really sticks it to the...
And that's what we fucking like, you know what I mean? Don't let them get away with it. Thanks for coming in, lad. Really appreciate it.
Man, thanks for having us.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.